Do the drum roll.
Cue the intro. We don't need to go live with these fucking losers. Everybody, welcome back to episode 125 of horrible joke intros. That's what that is. 125 episodes, Evan. How you feeling?
Old. Look how old I've become. Yeah, I didn't know. I live and breathe Star Wars quotes as much as what?
Come too far, seen too much. Just ignore the movie news and Twitter.
Nice try. Yeah, let's table that one.
Back on track.
Back on track. 125. That seems indescribable.
Low. Seems low.
It seems very low. I'm sure we've done more. Is there like a shadow hive of like episodes that haven't been aired yet or something?
We've done them all live.
We've done them all live. Since what? 2020? 2019. What year did we start?
I'd say it was 2020.
I think it was 20. Yeah, you're right. 2019 was Hyperspace Hype with Mando, and 2020 was Defy Bloods year. That's why I remember it.
That's wild.
Let's talk about some Spike Lee joint.
Yeah, our logo. I'm an original logo. He's gonna sue me one day.
He's gonna find his manager's gonna go on the internet and be like, this is
I'm not cup of tea at all.
They're like, how many views do they get? Oh, it doesn't matter.
Consequential, actually. Fuck it, just claim them and make their few cents. We're fine.
Exactly, please. And then they watch our like Fast and Furious commentaries. Like, wait, they get a lot of views here. What's going on?
They're spitting with Tokyo Drift. Cooking.
But yeah, man.
Live stream.
What?
This is our most viewed live stream.
Is that really? Damn.
Tokyo Drift was like 1,300 views.
That's insane. How did that happen?
People are probably like, "Oh, what? Someone's streaming the movie Tokyo Drift?" Fucking
probably. That's how
watch time is definitely 10 seconds a person.
I forgot you could look that up on YouTube.
Analytics, yeah.
But let's go through some shit, man. I've been thinking
about Evan.
What?
I'm livid about something.
Oh yeah, let's start with what you're livid about. The one that's not on our infinite show notes. But go off, King.
Go. Thank you. I'm not happy, Bob. Not to steal your quotes, but oh my god, this is outrageous. It's unfair. Can we stop with the quotes? So not even I did the math. I counted the calendar. It's not even 3 weeks, but in 2 days, the Fall Guy will be available on a home media release for streaming. Not even 3 weeks. It hasn't made back its budget yet. Maybe could have. You just leave it. Just let it go.
Let it go. This is very interesting, and I'm a huge box office person. I say interesting, but this isn't anything new. It's just like people are reacting to it because it's the Fall Guy. People like the Fall Guy. People were reacting like this when Name X movie when the Book of Clarence came out and the same thing happened. Or
I was
when Night Swim happened.
I was pissed earlier with Lisa Frankenstein, another good movie. It was like 19 days in theaters.
Yeah. It's interesting because we do live in a crowded marketplace. There's a lot of movies. Contrary to what people say these days, in terms of there's not that many original movies coming out. There's new movies. There's like 3 new movies every week, give or take. Mm-hmm. So the Lisa Frankenstein thing was disappointing, but also like, I don't know. Do you leave a movie that made like $5 million in theaters? It could make its money back, sure, but yeah, it's very hard to keep movies in theaters, especially the Fall. Looking specifically at the Fall Guy, a movie that had a budget of like what 120. I think I had it here. It has a $140 million budget. It has so far grossed $127 million on a $140 million budget. Last week it made. I wish I could look up the money it made last weekend alone. It's probably like 4 or 5 million. It's not great, Bob. It's definitely going to be one of the big box office flops of the year, I wouldn't even say flop because it might just match its budget. But even then, of course, that's still a flop because they did a lot of marketing for this movie. So much so that when we did our box office predictions episode with Edgar on where Heartbreak Feels Good, I had The Fall Guy as my number 4 seed. I was like, okay, I thought it would make more than like Twisters coming out this year. I thought because I just got so involved in the marketing, I was so excited for the movie that I was kind of fooled by the potential, the actual true potential. Early on in the year, I was like, this movie's not going to make any money. I don't see any appeal for this movie. And then I got fooled by the excessive marketing, and now look where we are. I think it's very difficult to try and say like this is a good thing or a bad thing. That has been happening with Universal movies. I think Universal has found success doing this, both theatrically and PVOD sales. It has not usually hurt their movies theatrically. Ever since the COVID, of course, COVID 2020 kind of started this, where they release a movie on PVOD, which is paid VOD, video on demand. That means $20. Tomorrow it will be on YouTube, Apple, Fandango, whatever you want to call it, for $19.99, which isn't appealing for the people like me and you who are go see movies by ourselves usually or with somebody else. This is for the families, which I think is a bigger hurdle because you want to rely on the families coming to see this movie weeks later, like what happened with animated movies, right? Like they didn't do this with Kung Fu Panda, right? Like Kung Fu Panda stayed there for a long time.
It's in fairness, it's still there at my theater, and a lot of people are still showing up.
People still see it, so it's and this is what I was about to say. Like people still go see movies even if it hits PVOD. People had this reactionary thing when Dune happened. They're like, "Are they releasing Dune on digital right after? Like it hasn't even been a month and a half." It was like 40 days. It was like 45 to 50 days for Dune, which it sounds short. But Dune had already made like $600 million by that point. Putting it on digital wasn't going to affect it, especially when you have IMAX being like, come see our movie again or go see the movie again.
It's still playing.
It is still playing. Like 30 to 45, especially 45 days. 45 days, even back in 2020 was a lot of money, or it was a lot of time. 45 days is the norm. This one's weird because it's been like 17 days. This is very short. 17 to 18 days, very, very short.
Back in my day, movies had 3 months, and I had to wait 6 more months for the Blu-ray.
Exactly. So it does suck, but I don't know if this is going to detrimentally affect the movie that's already flopping. It doesn't help. It certainly doesn't help, especially when you want to prioritize people going to see The Fall Guy. Throughout May, it would have made sense if this came out like May 31st. Give it the month of May, see how it does. But it came out May 3rd. It's only May 15th right now, May 20th right now, and it's already going on digital, which does suck. Again, I think I'm of two ways with it. I understand it. It's a horrible business practice. I mean, it's an unfortunate. I wouldn't say horrible. It's an unfortunate business practice. But it's one that does kind of make sense, but it's one that, again, is unfortunate because I want people to see these movies again and again and again, especially The Fall Guy, which we both really surprisingly enjoyed. It's one of the more surprising movies of the entire year for us.
I love it. I think I did have it at my second place of the year right now.
Oh, wow.
I've seen it twice.
Over Challengers.
Challengers right behind. It's just because I love the love story of The Fall Guy. Because
Challengers.
Yeah. That's a different love story. That
she loves tennis.
We're breaking up with you, Tina.
Come on.
That Saw 7 meme so funny.
The what?
The Saw 7 meme. The fucking the 2 boyfriends and the girl. Like we're breaking up with you, Johnny. I say Johnny, that's Dune. What's her name?
Tashi.
Too close.
Tashi and China. I think they'd be friends. I think they'd be roommates.
Probably. Johnny's still a bit more compassionate. I'll tell you, Tashi would probably team up with Paul.
Honestly, yeah. It'll work out just like the books, where it's just like Tashi has no qualms with what Paul is doing in the books. Meanwhile, Chani's like, yeah, I don't think we should do this in the movies.
We're talking about the Empire. What else would I be talking about?
Yeah, so it's an unfortunate thing. So if people were watching this and have not seen The Fall Guy, we really recommend seeing it in theaters. It's a fun theatrical experience if your theater is still playing it. You know, theaters are just now having more movies come out. Like I was saying, it's a crowded marketplace. We have Garfield coming out, animated movie for families, taking up a lot of the Fall Guys screens. And then Furiosa, I think just rated R, not PG-13. I'm not sure.
True.
Is it R? Okay. So it might not take up.
It's also like, I think like all the premium formats.
Exactly, yeah. So Fall Guys is getting hit. It's probably going to lose like 300 to 500 movie theaters again this weekend, which is unfortunate. But, same thing happened for Challengers. My wrong Challengers actually has been on Amazon Prime or something. Not like you can watch it on Amazon Prime, but it's like paid VOD again.
Yeah. It came out last week, yeah.
Yeah, so it sucks, but, go see Challengers. Go see all these movies because they're really, really, really good. And go see Abigail. I was looking at box office reports on Sunday. Abigail had a $27 million budget, I think, $28 million budget. And it's made only 27. It's very close to matching its budget, but I would have thought it would have been a bigger success. It's just going to match it, which might not be a box office success, given again the marketing, all that kind of stuff. But go see Abigail. It's also a very fun, great radio silence movie. They've done it again.
Absolutely.
So yeah, let's break down some of these interesting movie news. Let's start off with the rumor. So everything else on here is official. Let's start off with the rumor. Ryan Coogler to do Black Panther 3 and a possible X-Men film, the first possible X-Men film. Now, there's been a lot of rumors about this first X-Men film, which I don't want to get into because they haven't even started writing yet. The people are like, oh, they're not even going to have... What?
They're looking for writers right now.
They're looking for writers, exactly. I think they're looking for writers, or if they have writers, they're locked in the closet, not being able to share anything.
They're not activated yet.
But... I saw a rumor, I think just yesterday, where it's like, rumor has it that the first X-Men film isn't going to star any of the main cast. Like, they're going to prioritize like the underutilized X-Men characters from the comics. And I'm like, that sounds like bullshit to me. Like, who does that box office wise? Let's have our first X-Men film not be with Cyclops or Jean Grey.
It's like I know there's like a comic running like now, like a group of X-Men that's like it's just dude whose skin see through. That's it. This guy is a literal human bomb. He can only use his power once and he'll die. It's like, oh my god. Which I mean could be like fun underdog stuff, but also like Jubilee.
Yeah. So there's some weird X-Men rumors going out there, but this Ryan Coogler one was posted by I think Jeff Snyder and some other people. And it's a rumor. The big one is Black Panther 3 makes a lot of sense. I think him coming back to return for a Black Panther 3 makes sense. I'm still very curious to see what they do with that movie. T'Challa's son, is his name T'Challa? What's his son's name? His son, his name is
the second, you would say.
Okay. Which makes sense because they want to reboot the Black Panther character. Essentially.
They couldn't stick with Shuri for some reason.
No, I mean I think it makes sense. Shuri had her moment to shine, and then
for sure. I think it's a beautiful like tee up to continue the Black Panther character to tell like the many stories they never got to tell. With T'Challa. And it was also like a good send off for Chadwick in and of itself.
A good send off to Chadwick and a good star vehicle for Shuri. But yeah, I think that's not the purpose of Shuri's character is to like be the next Black Panther. I mean, that was her role for the second one, but I think Mantle can go on to the next one. I think she'll be happy with that, both in universe and out of universe. But yeah, I'm still curious about Black Panther 3, by the way, in terms of like, are they going to age up T'Challa via Secret Wars? That seems the most plausible.
He's like young right now, so that's a significant jump to go at least like 15 years.
Yeah, the movie came out 2022. The kid was like 8, maybe younger. And then he probably like 10, 11 right there. Like you would have to be like a kid Black Panther.
And they're in 2025 right now.
Yeah, they're in 2025 right now. It's very complicated. Like I think we're looking at in terms of if you're a Marvel producer, your slate, you're looking at like what's the movies that are coming out in 2027, 2028? Because 2025 is already booked. 2026 already has like Shang-Chi 2, Avengers, Secret Wars, or Avengers King Dynasty, or whatever it's called now, Avengers 5. And then I don't know what the other 2026 rumored movies are. But either way, it's like Black Panther 2 might be on the horizon. Oh, Doctor Strange 3. But anyways, Black Panther 2 is on the horizon, or 3 is on the horizon. I don't know what they could possibly do for that character, but X-Men seems interesting. I think Ryan Coogler would be a good director for X-Men. I like it. It's not one that I would expect, but it's one I would fully support if it happens. It's always very curious when they get two big Marvel productions like Black Panther and X-Men. My dude believe that? Like Black Panther's gonna take years to work on. He's probably already working on it. And then you want him to work years again on an X-Men movie? It's like
I'm trying to think because I don't think we've actually like hit a outside of the Russos. I don't think we've ever hit a director team do multiple properties in the MCU. For a second, John Watts had Fantastic Four after Spider-Man, but that didn't go through. Matt Shakman is about to do Fantastic Four though. He's coming off of WandaVision.
It's kind of different. It's a TV to movie thing, but you're right. It is two different productions. Yeah.
And they're of a similar vein, kind of, since we're doing it like a '60s aesthetic anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But also in a sense, there is a lot of like complicated stuff to adapt with the X-Men in terms of their functionality within society in general, right?
Yes.
And a lot of like political things, which the Black Panther films have definitely like addressed and woven really well in the storytelling of the characters in the grand adventure of everything. So I think if you were to give it to any pre-established hands, I think Ryan is probably the best bet to give to.
That's a good point. Ryan does a great job of, even in all his films, even the Rocky Creed movies, nailing the cultural, aesthetic, and thematic like elements of it all. Being Black in America and how that his legacy in terms of Creed works. And then for, of course, Black Panther 1 and 2, diving into the world's opinions on Wakanda and how they navigate, how Wakanda navigates it internally and externally, like their roles as like we're in Wakanda. How should we be benefiting the world? What is our role in terms of a global scale? I think that works for Black Panther. I think that could also work for X-Men. X-Men 97 is just a shining example of how to make that be both fun and be full of depth and heart and chaos. Like it's perfect X-Men television. And hopefully Ryan watched it and took notes. No, I'm kidding. I think this would be very interesting. And we've always been talking about it. This first X-Men film is very, very, very important for Marvel. They've had their ups and downs over Phase 4, going into Phase 5 here. But X-Men film is their like secret sauce, as you would say, like post Secret Wars, clearing the dust basically of like everything that's come before it. What's going to get audiences excited in the MCU again? It's going to be a bigger, probably as big, probably not a bigger hurdle than after Endgame, where Endgame was like, why are we interested in Marvel still? And they still had a lot of successes, like Shang-Chi, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, No Way Home. Like they've had a lot of successes. Guardians. But after Secret Wars, it's like, okay, all our characters that we've known and loved is pretty much done with. Why should we continue watching? Giving a reboot of the X-Men is it.
Yeah, this feels like for the first time since we were first starting to adapt Spider-Man here, I think both Fantastic Four and X-Men is like the big time where like every fan, as soon as like some form of a trailer pops up, everyone's going to be like, oh, what do we got?
Yeah. They're gonna put on the glasses like Clark Kent.
Who's this? Who hacked my channel?
So yeah, that's just an interesting rumor. Another thing, couple weeks ago, May 7th, as it is. Wow. Have we not done one since like May 7th?
Our last episode was Challengers and Fall Guy Talk. Which was a week later. It was a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, our last episode was May 6th, and then May 13th we did Hyperspace. May 20th here we are. Wow, funny how things work. The MCU is reducing their output. Let me put the quotes in midair here. Reducing their output from two to 3 movies per year and 2 TV shows per year.
Which just seems like that would just be like the full brim. And originally, right? Like as we were coming through all 3 phases, we were like, yeah, that's just like the plethora norm now. Like we're getting good.
Exactly.
That's plenty.
That's a lot, and it's pretty much what we've been having, especially this year. Is definitely. I think this is supposed to be a thing for investors for 2026 because it's definitely what we're having this year. You know, given the strikes, they were kind of forced to have it this year. But Deadpool is the one movie, so it's going below this new threshold. And then TV show wise, all we've had this year is we had Echo, which was kind of a thing. I don't know if Marvel Animation counts, but live action wise, it's been Echo, Agatha is later this year, and that might be it.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything? Yeah, just Echo and Agatha. So just two things. Next year, TV show wise, it is going to be two with Daredevil and Ironheart. So the two confirmed so far. Ironheart, which is crazy. They filmed that thing, 2022 now? Like,
dude, I've been waiting so long. I was like, is it alive? Are you okay?
I think I remember Anthony Ramos, like in the back parking lot with his cloak and everything. People are like, "What's going on, Doctor Doom connections?" Like this was back in like when they were releasing Black Panther 2, and I wonder, did the Ironheart actress she film Ironheart before or after she filmed Black Panther: Wakanda Forever? So sometimes you go back and forth. I don't.
That's true. I feel like it was a little after though. Just thinking about it.
Maybe. But yeah, and then 2 or 3 movies per year. That's what they've been doing since last year. They had Guardians, Thor, Captain Marvel. Am I forgetting one? Ant-Man. So that was 4.
Thor wasn't last year.
What?
Thor wasn't last year.
Thor wasn't last year. Okay, so what was it? Ant-Man, Guardians, Captain Marvel. That was it. 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're usually doing 3, and then next year is just the abnormality because everything got pushed back. So they are doing 4 with Blade, Thunderbolts, Cap, and Fantastic Four. That's 4 movies. If Blade is sincerely coming out next year, it's had like 7 different release dates. It's supposed to come out next November, but have they started filming yet? Hey Nathan, tell me the post credit scene again. Are you with me, Mr. Whitman? Whatever you said. Are you right?
You hear in the background.
Are you ready for that, Mr. Whitman?
Are you sure you're ready for that?
There we are. Yeah.
Is his name Mr. Whitman? Am I getting it right? I have not watched Eternals in a minute. I like it though.
Yeah, I love it. Got a preface.
Yeah, because you come for his throat every time.
I don't.
I don't care about it, and I'm like, I care, motherfucker.
We talked a lot about it on the podcast. I like it.
Remember, I was like, isn't it beautiful how like they are so fascinated with like what humans were able to do to save the universe, and I like got to like the soul of the fucking universe. You're like, oh, you're right. And then you swayed me on fucking last night in Soho. Meanwhile, Carson missed that episode and was mute on both of them.
Yeah, he didn't like both of them.
I was like, God damn, we could have saved him. Obligatory Carson reference again.
You're welcome, Carson. Summer Carson's like,
shiver. We love you, man.
I think he's dead. Like those sports anime, like I hope Senpai's looking down on me. It's like, no, he just went to college. He's fine.
Senpai went to college.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. Michelle Yeoh is doing the Blade Runner 2099 series, which I just want to say is still happening. We're getting a lot of like Denis Villeneuve TV stuff. He's not involved in like Dune Prophecy. He's not involved in Blade Runner 2099. But these are connected to what he has done with Dune movies, and in this case, what he has done with the Blade Runner 2049 character or universe. I think I'm blanking. Who created Blade Runner? Who created Blade Runner? Ridley Scott. Yeah, I think Ridley Scott is involved as executive producer, obviously. But it's just interesting that this show is still happening in Amazon Prime. And Michelle Yeoh is leading the vehicle, which is very awesome. She's done a lot of great TV just recently, since Everything Everywhere. She was in the show I hated this year called Brothers. What the fuck was it called? It was like this Asian family show that I hated this year.
Wow.
I'm gonna.
Wow, Evan, wow.
Where the fuck is it called? The Brother's Son. Oh, bad Netflix show. Didn't get a season 2. I wonder why. It's not good, fam. I tried watching it. I was like, oh, this is cool kung fu family shit. not good. But Michelle Yeoh is great in it. She was also on Disney Plus's The American Chinese.
It's called like American Heritage or something.
I think it was called American Chinese. So what was it called?
Maybe. What am I remembering was called
American Born Chinese. That was his name.
Okay.
That was the show's name. American Born Chinese, and she was the mother there as well. I didn't finish that show. I was halfway through it. Sorry, Disney Plus. When I'm trying to watch a show and it gets canceled, I'm like, I lose all interest. But yeah, American Born Chinese, she was good in the episodes that I saw in it. So I'm happy that she's making more TV, and I'm happy that Blade Runner 2099 is still moving forward at Amazon Prime. Very exciting. It's set to be filming later this year. Whoops. I just clicked on myself on YouTube. Not fun. Anyways, I'm trying to click on the there we go. The other Amazon Prime. Let's stick with that. Nick Cage. This is big. This is big. Big.
This gave me both serotonin boost and also kicked me in the gutter.
I didn't know we were gonna go in there, but yeah, it's a kick in the nuts for sure. Let's look for it here. Nick Cage is returning. There we go. Set to star in the live-action Spider-Man Noir series for, again, Amazon Prime Video. Steve Lightfoot, the Punisher, and Oren Uziel, 22 Jump Street, will serve as showrunners. I like those credits. It says The Punisher. That's an OG film, The Punisher, or The Punisher Netflix series?
I imagine the series.
Okay. And then Oren Uziel, again, from 22 Jump Street, one of the best comedy sequels of all time. Will serve as showrunners. And then Henry Bradbeer from Fleabag will direct the first 2 episodes. I've never seen Fleabag, actually.
Really?
No. Have you?
I have.
Oh, yeah. All episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thoughts?
It's quick. Well, first it's a quick binge because it's like only like a few episodes per, and it's only 2 seasons.
Okay.
But it's wonderful, and even though like a lot of people, and I would agree that like it does have like a satisfying ending at a certain perspective. It's like I want more because it's so good. It's so well done, and it's phenomenal how good Phoebe Waller-Bridge is.
Yeah, both as a writer and a star in the show. She's been writing a lot of stuff. She helped write No Time to Die as well. I love that movie. And then she's set to write another show that we talk about later as well. But yeah, a lot of great creatives involved in this project. Nicolas Cage is coming back. Now, to preface this, this has no relation to his Spider-Man Noir character in Into the Spider-Verse, the animation side. So this is not what you saw in Into the Spider-Verse and at the end of Across the Spider-Verse and soon to be Beyond. This is not his character just moving into live action.
Because
he'll be animated. Exactly. What they've established in that universe is that Spider-Man Noir character is animated, and if he moves live action, he'd still be animated. And that character is playing Peter Parker. In this case, Nicolas Cage's live action Noir, they're taking a spin on the character and keeping the title of Spider-Man Noir. He is not Peter Parker. That's what they have said so far. He is going to be a different character or a different name, similar origins, I think. Let me look up. I didn't have the actual article on my notes page here. But yeah, I think he's going to be going by something else. Whoa. Let's see here. Yeah, it will tell the story of an aging and down on his luck private investigator, Nicolas Cage, in the 1930s New York, who is forced to grapple with his past life as the city's one and only superhero, in quotation, Spider-Man. So it's more so like a down on his luck detective who then reflects on his past as Spider-Man, or continues his journey as Spider-Man Noir. It's going to be very interesting to see their take on this series. Of course, this is produced by executive producers Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who executive produced alongside Amy Pascal. Of course, the same people who have been working on a lot of the Sony Marvel projects so far, animated-wise. But now Lord and Miller are working on, they have the overall deal at Sony with Marvel Animation, or Marvel shows. I saw people saying this like last week, like it was brand new news. Like Lord and Miller have now been in charge of overseeing all of the Sony Marvel projects TV wise. That's been the case since 2019. Like back when Silk was getting developed, they were already in charge of Sony Marvel Television. It's just that nothing has gotten off the ground yet. Silk was going to be the first thing, but we'll see what that's not happening anymore. But Noir is now going to be their next thing. And it's just the first of many Sony Marvel live action TV shows that they want to do moving forward. So yeah, what do you think about this whole Spider-Man Noir? Do you think it has potential to be a good series?
I think it absolutely does. I think it's a solid team bringing it to life. I am very compelled to see Nicolas Cage go in on this performance because I think he genuinely like really cares about this character. He's big into comics and stuff, and like whenever he's like committed to a role, like as much as we see some like wild roles that he does take, like he does commit to everything he's a part of, and he genuinely cares, and especially when it's a character he gets familiar with. He's like, oh, I'm gonna give my all to this. I'm definitely looking forward to the performance he's gonna give, not just as like hardened detective and crime noir style, but like there could be some genuinely emotional scenes. This is a man who's like been like award recognized in like his past. Man, he's a good actor.
He's a fantastic actor, and you're so right. He has a stacked filmography in terms of the products that he's doing, just all the way up to the present. He has Long Legs coming out this year, a new horror indie that's getting a lot of buzz. He filmed like this Australian murder movie that's premiered at Caine. Like he has a lot on his slate, and for him to tackle Spider-Man Noir of all things means that he's very devoted to this character, like you said, and that's very exciting. And he hasn't done television. I don't want to say ever. He probably has, but it's rarefied air. Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be getting into the television area with. He's doing season 2 of that one show that came out last year with a guy from Walking Dead. I don't know. I forget what the show is called. No, the Asian guy, Steven Yeun. He was on the Netflix show last year.
Right.
I forget what it's called.
Or beef? What is it called?
Beef. Yes. Fresh meat. But Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway are doing season 2 of Beef. And that's exciting. I know, right? I know.
My curiosity. Now you have my attention.
So it's just very cool seeing these prominent actors jump into television, which is becoming more and more prominent these days. I was going to say cinematic, but that kind of goes against the word television.
Even though visually, yes.
Visually, yes, in some cases, but it's like nothing will ever be cinematic unless you're sitting your butt in a Cinemark movie theater. Please sponsor us.
So I just need a filter and widescreen?
No. It would not be the same. Anyway.
I'll tell you where he stood.
But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this possibility. It's very exciting. And yeah, I think Amazon Prime has just been killing it with their genre storytelling as of late. I'm in the middle of Fallout. We just watched episode 4 last night. My favorite episode yet, I think. And my brother and I are going to watch the second half this week, in the coming days. They've also done very well, of course, with The Boys, which has just got renewed for season 5 prior to season 4 even airing. Of course, they have Invincible. Yeah,
I heard season 5 get greenlit, and I saw a little video, and I'm like, God, fuck it, we're never killing Homelander, are we, man?
a lot of the quote tweets was just like, oh, so another season of Homelander surviving one of Butcher's next big, like, I can kill Homelander plays. It is getting trite.
Bill, aren't you dying?
Bill has a ticking clock. But storytelling might not be the best in this show. It never really was. But I have a lot of fun with every time. Well, I mean, I'm not disparaging it. It's a very fun TV show. It's a great TV show, I would say. But it's just not like, not the best show ever. Wow. I would put Invincible over The Boys. Invincible season 1 and 2 over The Boys season 1, 2, 3. Wrong?
You're using animation against me.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Hey, don't be right. It's great.
And I'm including the Adam Eve special.
Great stories on both sides.
No.
Oh, sorry. But some negative Spidey Amazon news.
Yeah, let's make something dour, Nathan like to say. We've been tracking this news for a long time. Ever since it was announced.
I did my waiting.
People on the podcast are like, can Evan and Nathan talk without quoting movies and TV? No, we can't.
You watch it. Oh, first off, sorry, before we even say this, spoilers for the end of Spider-Man 2, the game.
Yes.
Whenever they get to Spider-Man 3 releasing and everyone fucking loves Silk in that game, let me tell you, Evan, they're gonna be like, shit, what did we do?
we got to make something. Call Lord and Miller again.
Fast Track Beyond, do it. Put him in.
Yeah, this sucks, Bob. As Nathan's alluding to, Silk, the TV series that was in production far earlier than Noir. I think Silk was in production starting in 2020, maybe even earlier. We've heard about this show for a long time. We tracked it on one of these 125 episodes of My Cup of Tea. But it's unfortunate that is no longer moving forward at Prime Video. But there is a possibility it can come back. There's another. We got to stop. Sony, it has to be a record. Like, we're 36 minutes in. We've done like 36 quotes.
There's a lot of Star Wars quotes, but now it's just like quotes in general. I think we hit 30, right? Not 30.
Give or take 30. Sony are now going to shop the series to other streamers and networks. This has happened before with shows that we thought were dead. Most recently, the Batman, what was it called? The J.J. Abrams Batman show.
Cape Crusader.
Cape Crusader, that's what I'm talking about? Or I think there's another one. It's Cape Crusader, the same thing that was, I think it is. Maybe not.
Like 40s era big bad ears.
But it got like, there was a Batman show that got canceled, and then now it came back on. Is that still Cape Crusader?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't Amazon get it?
Yeah. I think it was supposed to be on HBO, and now it's going to Amazon. Yes. So it left from HBO to Amazon. HBO is probably not the best place to receive a lot of shows that they likely cancel. But I guess still going to HBO, how would that work? The Warner Brothers, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know rights, but a Silk show could move forward at a place like Netflix, Apple, maybe even Hulu, maybe even Disney. Probably not Disney Plus, because then they have to do the whole MCU thing. But Hulu, maybe. I don't know. It's weird when it comes to Marvel, Sony television. Who are they allowed to shop to? But either way,
that's a funny thing though, because I don't know if because it's live action, but the TV rights of Spider-Man with all the different animation properties have all been under Disney.
Disney has Marvel Animation.
Control. Yeah. I just mean everything that's been made for TV for Spidey, even though they have been animated, have all been under Marvel's branch, not Sony.
It is a weird. I want to see that contract. It's very weird. It's like we get TV, but only animated TV. You get TV, but only live action TV. You get these characters, but only Sony.
I do remember there was in the 2014 email leaks. There was some Peter Parker casting stipulations, and it was he must be white. So he has to be around the stage. He can't smoke. He can't do anything. Makes them have a bad image. And I'm like, motherfucker, you have the symbiote. All right.
Yeah, it's very weird. But yeah, this show is no longer moving forward on Amazon. It was called tentatively Silk Spider Society. It was originally greenlit back in November 2022. Let's see here. The Walking Dead alum Angela Caine was on board as executive producer and showrunner. She had a multi-year deal with Amazon. Now it is still in the process. Let's see. Yeah, according to the situation, Sony will try to shop the series to other buyers, but we'll see how that goes. But earlier in the year, we talked about this, how the Silk Writers Room is like getting changed up. Like there were some people leaving. They wanted to focus on a more male skewing audience. We talked about this. We were like, that makes no sense. Like, what the hell? It's Silk.
Forgot about that.
And then nowadays after the Noir thing, they're just not moving forward with Silk. And there were some other things that came out. Remember we quote tweeted something over the past week about Spider-Man Silk?
Well, they were like trying to shift focus away from the Silk character.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's not in this article, but yeah, what you said is right. Yeah. There was another article that came out saying like some of the people involved were saying that some of the producers were saying they wanted to shift focus away from the Silk character, which again doesn't make sense as an audience member, but as a producer, I could believe them possibly saying some bullshit like that. Because producers in Hollywood say the craziest things when they don't read a comic book. So yeah, what?
I watched Madam Web. None of these characters are what they should be.
No. But yeah, if people don't know, again, Sydney Moon is a Korean American woman bitten by the same spider that bit Peter Parker. And then in the comics, at least, while she was locked up for a number of years by somebody from the Spider-Verse movies or event. I forget who it was, but somebody locked her up. During that time, her family disappeared. There is, of course, a lot of similarities to the scenario in Old Boy, where somebody was locked up and then, gets out and wants revenge. In this case, she didn't want revenge. She just wanted to find her family. She ended up finding Peter Parker, and then, her story goes on from there.
God bless
I didn't want to mention that.
I'm sorry.
Did they really have sex?
Every time we talk about Silk.
Anyways, so
I was just like, "That's oh."
I think that was for one thing, and then the writers were like, "This is disgusting." We moved on.
Spider pheromones, like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Spider-Man has had. I don't want to put hyperbole on it, but the number of different writers that Spider-Man has had, and the number of wild decisions that have been going on in Spider-Man comics for decades now is just one of the more baffling for a single character.
You could make the top 20. You could.
Yeah, you really could. Between Spider-Man, of course, the most popular ones have the most crazy stories. So between Spider-Man and Batman, in terms of what the F is happening in this.
Even if we don't include all the different runs that Spider-Man has had, the main Amazing Spider-Man run has had over 1,000 issues.
Exactly.
Shit's gonna get weird.
Shit gets weird. The whole Norman and Mary Jane stuff. Yeah, things have gotten weird, people.
Norman Glenn, that was a.
But yeah, it's so unfortunate. Again, especially in the year that we are, 2024. Just an Asian-focused TV show would have been so welcome in this less than diverse climate on television. And that's why people were so euphoric and so happy about a show like Shogun, which is all Asian cast, Asian creators for the most part. And then you have John Blackthorne, and there's the one white guy. But it's like these, and then Beef, which swept the limited series awards last year. We're looking for more diverse shows, and I think Silk would have been more than welcome, especially because even outside of the diversity of it all, she's an interesting character from the Spider-Verse comics, from her own comic book issues. And as like Nathan said, spoilers for Spider-Man 2, but it is something that we'll be seeing a lot in Insomniac Spider-Man 3, whenever that happens, 2028 probably. Because it takes fucking 5 years to make a game these days. The gaming industry is in hell. Anyways, says Naughty Dog, who hasn't had a new game since Last of Us Part 2. Which it's just crazy. I hate the gaming industry is just awful. It's like, hey, this game was great. Want a sequel to it? Wait 5 years. Meanwhile, back in the good old days, Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 came out every other year. They're all great games.
Wow.
Like I think Uncharted 2 was like or Uncharted 1 was like 2007. Uncharted 2 was like 2009. Uncharted 3 was 2011. Last of Us was 2013. Like every other year were straight bangers. But now in like the PS5, Xbox Series X, PC era, it takes 5 years to make a good game for a AAA game at least. Anyways, so yeah, we're still looking forward for Silk. Hopefully, it finds a new home somewhere else, but we have to move on. Sticking with the Marvel of it all, some news has come out regarding still with TV. Yeah, Daredevil, which is confirmed now to be 9 episodes, is finally has a release date. We knew it was coming out next year, but has confirmed to be narrowed down to the month of March. Daredevil, Born Again, 9 episodes. Coming out next March. It's a big throwback because the Netflix TV show I think began in March as well, if I'm not mistaken from lack of memory. But yeah, Daredevil Born Again, 9 episodes. People were like, "Hey, wasn't this supposed to be 18 episodes back?" But that was back when they had a different showrunners before they rebooted the entire show and refocused everything to be more connected to the Netflix universe. They've refocused things. Story has completely changed, as we've talked about on this podcast before. And yeah, they're back to doing 9 episodes beginning in March. It is the first of one of 2 TV shows from Marvel coming out next year. Again, Ironheart being the other one, probably coming out fall. But yeah, are you excited for Daredevil Born Again? Finally coming out next March. You have a firm release date. Here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not 18 episodes anymore, which is okay, but it does make things funny. Of just like there's been a like Comic-Con announcement event panels to like look back on and it's like, oh, that's not that anymore. Like it used to be like you would go watch the iconic Phase 3 announcement where it's like, you know, making all these movies. Infinity War is going to be in 2 parts. Chadwick Boseman is the Black Panther. The Inhumans movie is coming. And before it was just like, oh, that was funny. And now we're like, oh, here's the original Phase 4 slate that got so blended. Blade's coming. Announced in 2019. Here's Mahershala.
They had him on stage, Nathan.
They gave him the hat.
No.
Kevin's hat. And all these things. And now it's like, Daredevil with 18 episodes. Holy shit. That's 3 times the Noir. What?
Cut to like early 2000s when 18 episodes would have been short.
Yeah, it's like, where's my 22 to 26?
It's funny. I think who was talking about it the other day? I think it was Jonathan Nolan. He was doing an interview for Fallout. And he was talking about the difference between 9 episodes and 10 episodes. 10 episodes you can really get into, or 8. It was 8 and 10. He said 10 episodes you can get into like people would call it filler, but like more character-centric episodes. But 8 episodes, you got to keep the plot moving every single episode. It's not much time to breathe. And that sometimes, as an audience member, I want to breathe in my TV shows. I want to take a breath. I want to watch some more relaxed episodes. Not everything has to be extremely plot-driven. But a lot of studios want their norm these days, for even if it's multi-season, they want it to be 8 to 10, 8 to 10, 8 to 10. That's the big number these days. I kind of miss, Lost being 24 episodes. And yeah, even comedies are lowering down their episodes to like 10 to 12. Like Abbott used to be a lot longer than it really is now these days. But either way, no, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nathan. I know I failed you. I might watch. I might watch an episode today. Now that Nathan's bullying me.
I gotta vent something.
Oh shit! Okay, now I really want to catch up. Maybe in 2 weeks when we do our next Mike of a Tea episode.
Holy hell!
Nathan event.
Still great show.
Yeah. Now I'm curious. Now you have my attention.
Someone died. Mr. Johnson.
Oh fuck! No! Did he fall in a mop?
No.
Did he fall in a mop and decapitate himself?
No, he's continuously to be hilarious.
He's the best. I wonder if he's involved with the writing of that show because he has some of the best like intro sequences or outro sequences. Like I wonder if they just let him cook.
Somebody was just like, he's one of the producers. He was just like, can't be on screen.
Yeah, probably. Love you, Mr. Johnson. But yeah, I'm excited for this show. It has a lot of potential. A lot is riding on this show. They changed the scope of Marvel television in response to what was going on with Marvel's Daredevil, right? Like the Marvel Daredevil show was going through so much backlash online and internally. People were not happy with what was going on. You know, the whole controversy about like, is Matt not suiting up into episode 3? All these other rumors that we were hearing. And then it was talking about Kevin Feige being like spread too thin. And that, of course, changed the concept of Marvel TV to lower the output dramatically. And Marvel's Daredevil completely changed.
Yeah, it was such a wild time because like you said, like the later suit up situation, which I think we were both kind of like okay with the time because we were like, if they have a compelling story, like okay,
yeah, we'll see.
18 episodes.
I never want to disparage something before I fucking see it. It didn't sound good, but I was gonna give it the benefit of the doubt.
But then it was like, we've recast Vanessa, Foggy and Karen aren't in this. Matt's at a new law firm, potentially not in New York. What?
I was like, ooh.
But then suddenly they started cooking, and it was like, Karen and Foggy are back. Bullseye's here, and he's on set. Like, oh shit. I think Frank's in it. I think Jessica Jones as well.
I think she was pre-born again.
Yeah, I think. But and I think didn't they actually get the original Vanessa actress back? I think it was like
She's
a schedule.
Back.
Yeah, so
I think it was like a scheduling thing. I think it was like a controversy about nothing. But yeah, it was controversy. Or it was a scheduling. But I love her. She's great. The person who plays Vanessa. So I'm glad she's back.
She's so pivotal in like the epic finale of the 3rd season in that scene because everyone just remembers I beat you, but like Vanessa's a key component in that scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, like a from Matt to checkmate the Kingpin.
Exactly. So I'm so stoked for this series. A lot is riding on it. I hope it's really good. Marvel TV has been up and down for me lately. Didn't love Loki season 2, but I've loved Miss Marvel, which needs a season 2. And like live action wise, it's been up and down. Echo. What?
Will we ever get Loki season 3?
If Loki season 3 is happening, then I'll completely change my viewpoint on the ending of Loki season 2.
That's right.
But they said it's over. That's why I'm like, oh my god, then it sucks. No, I'm kidding. It didn't suck, but
I need Sylvie back, man.
I do. I'm supposed to believe she's just happy with Loki being the god of death or whatever it's called now. He's just chilling, sacrificed himself. Technically, I'm not happy, Bob. I don't like my characters ending up alone. I'm sorry. Anyways,
she made aware of what Loki was about to do, and she was like, "No, I'm like this." Physically saying,
I think the weird part for that finale was like he tried a million different things, and then he says like, "There's a point when he's like physically talking to her, and then he still makes a choice to just like go at it alone." Anyways. That happened. But yeah, I want Miss Marvel season 2 badly. Echo was not great. Secret Invasion, Nathan has not watched it, so it's not great. I'm not wrong. So here's hoping that Daredevil is good. Here's hoping that Agatha is actually good. It seems like it's such a bad idea, this Agatha show.
I don't see why.
I'm of course, because you're Nathan. I'm ready to be proven wrong. What? You're happy about everything. I'm ready to be proven wrong.
Fucking witch magic, man. It'll be fun. It's a Halloween season. It could be silly. I don't care.
But it's the epitome of what was wrong with Marvel pre this shakeup that they had. It's like people like the Agatha character, but do we need a whole 8-episode comedy about her? Not really. But they're doing it anyways. You said yes. Okay.
I'll take all the Catherine Hahn, man.
She's great. Go watch her and other shit.
Well, I have this, so.
I have a Marvel show.
I have the subscription. It's there.
So here's hoping Daredevil was good. Coming out March 2025. And then Agatha, we mentioned Agatha, is coming out September 18th, officially. And it is called Agatha all along. The whole title thing was a ploy, you guys. They tricked us.
Kind of
I don't believe it. I don't believe that they actually did this on. Like, I don't
You
believe.
just don't want to have God and God.
No. I refuse to believe that that they genuinely did this. What probably actually happened? Let me cook, Nathan.
Every negative emotion you have is the point for them.
I know. I'm feeding into it, but let me cook.
All right, Master Chef.
Top Chef.
My apology.
Agatha All Along was probably an early title, sure. Then they generally changed it.
Two.
And then they changed it again. And I think by the third time, they're like, let's make this a joke. I think it became a joke. I don't think it started as a joke. And then they want to do this all like, well, it was, wait for it, Agatha All Along.
Well, okay, so like how early does it have to be caught on before it is genuine? And then how late is it that you're like,
after one? After one.
It sounds like you just said it was after one.
No, I think after one, it's not genuine. I don't know. I'm twisting my words here. I didn't expect you to talk back, but
I run like tired level of like silent for 4 streams straight, and then when Evan's like, "Oh, I'm gonna roast this thing I didn't like," I'm like, "I'm here."
I don't know. It just I don't believe it was always Agatha All Along. Don't bullshit me. You changed the title genuinely, and then when you did it again, you're like, okay, maybe let's make a joke on these fans because they like to keep the heads on the title things and fuck you. Anyways,
I just find it funny that people are this level of up in arms. Yeah. Because it's also very inconsequential to the final product.
It doesn't matter at all. But yeah, is this gonna be a good show? I have my doubts. Can I be proven wrong? Probably not. But we'll see. I'm not going to go into it hating it. Don't wow me, sir.
Sexist Evan over here, I see.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Calling me out. Okay.
What male-led anime you watching today? Got him.
A lot. Anyways.
How many women in IQ, motherfucker?
I watch a lot of I've been a diverse anime watcher. I call my Saturdays. I don't watch a lot of harems these days. I watch a lot of. I call my Saturdays Yuri. Saturdays Yuri means lesbian Saturdays, because there's 2 great lesbian animes on right now. Whisper Me a Love Song, which is great, and then Jellyfish, both about how music is attracting these 2 women to each other, and both their shows. So I know, right? Yeah, stood up. If people are not watching, they're both on the anime service called High Dive, which is only like $5 a month, and it's really good. Especially Jellyfish. Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night is a show, and it's excellent.
Is that true?
What?
Is that true?
I don't know if that's a fact, but that's the title of the damn show. I don't know. How about you go down there and feel like jellyfish? What?
Do androids dream of electric sheep, Evan?
Yes, they do. They do all the time.
Actually, have you read the book?
No,
I haven't.
I've seen Blade Runner. Same thing.
Right. Yeah. Based on it.
Let's keep the next one in the Marvel family here, as we have a big one. Given Nathan's thumbnail, Ralph Ineson has been officially cast as Galactus, shocking the world because we were all prepared for Javier Bardem. People were looking for the Spy Kid's father. That guy?
The Spy Kid's father, you say? That's Zorro, motherfucker. That is El Mariachi. What's his name?
You're just
that is the Puss in Boots.
Yes, it is.
It is Antonio Banderas, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Doolittle villain, Antonio Banderas.
What?
Yeah, he's in Doolittle.
The new one or the old one?
The new one. Robert Downey Jr.
The one that only you saw in theaters?
In Dolby, yeah.
Wow.
With 3 people. He's like 5 minutes in Dial of Destiny.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in that. Oh god. Well, now he's officially a part of indie canon. But Ralph Ineson.
Sorry, just staying off of indie. I was watching my nephew today, and we're watching SpongeBob, and we're watching the episode with where they have to watch over the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy cave, and they unfreeze Man Ray.
Oh, he's great. Oh, the wallet scene.
Yeah, the wallets. Not just that. Like, yeah, everything. But you can pause Amazon and it tells you like who's playing who. It's fucking John Rhys Davies, this Man Ray.
Wait, what?
Like, what do you mean? And then you hear it and you're like, oh, fuck, it is.
That's amazing. I had no idea. Wow.
Like, it must be your wallet.
I love that episode. That is peak comedy. It must be your wallet. Take it. Oh, man.
Motherfuckers laughing, trying to rob a bank. It's John Rhys Davies. It's like, get back!
Man, early, what was that, season 3? Bob?
2 or 3, it might be 2.
Might be 2. Oh. Man, what a great episode. We're off Ineson, most notably from everything you've heard him in. He was most recently in Willow series on Disney Plus. That is not there anymore. He was also in Final Fantasy 16 from last year. He played the famous character Sid, who appears in every game, but in this interpretation of Sid, he was great. He was a great Sid character. And then, of course, he's just in a lot of other things. You name it, he was in it.
The Witch.
Yes. He's a father in Witch, yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot he was in Ready Player One.
I have not seen that movie, even though I have the Blu-ray.
You haven't seen it?
Oh, I haven't not seen it again. I have the Blu-ray. I've seen it in theaters. Yes. I saw it as soon as I saw that Olivia Cook was in it. I'm like, I got to see this movie. She's good. Are they still doing the sequel? Is the book sequel out yet?
Yeah, the book sequel's been out for a minute. Ready Player 2.
Yeah.
Solid title. Logical title. What else you got?
Ready Player Dos. Anyways, yeah.
No, I know Spanish. I can't.
You mentioned The Witch.
Yes.
He was great in The Witch.
Go.
Thank you. He was great in The Witch. He was great in like a lot of other things. So I'm very excited to see this character portrayed as Galactus. Like that's going to be very, very interesting to see in that voice, that presence that he has with his voice.
One of the best voices I've ever heard. Like he is my like modern James Earl Jones equivalent of like that is the voice you get, man.
Yeah, the voice of God.
The voice of Satan, if anything.
Exactly.
It's very gruff. It's so good.
It's very gruff and imposing, which is again perfect for Galactus. I'm very curious to see. We just recovered from Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. Go watch our commentary.
These on Letterboxd, by the way.
I saw that. I was like, "Fuck! I gotta remind myself to log these commentaries that we do." I always forget it.
I keep going to log it because like our streams will end after midnight. I'm like, "Fuck! I gotta go back a day on the calendar."
Oh my god! Are you that?
Not my phone settings. I just mean like you can change in the date in the Letterboxd app.
Is somebody 10 years from now gonna be like, "Oh, Nathan watched it on May 18th, not the 19th"? Oh wow. Okay, just checking.
Like, if you had to be like, "Oh, I'm really celebrating my birthday," and it's May 5th, and now you're a liar. And now the studio let you go because they have trust issues.
That's different.
We're not gonna move forward with you on Silk. I'm sorry.
Damn it. But I'm excited for Ralph Ineson. Again, I'm excited for the Galactus character in general. Like I was saying, we just recovered from Rise of the Silver Surfer, which had a bad version of Galactus, and I'm still very curious to see what Marvel is going to be doing with this version of Galactus. There's theories that they're going to lose because, again, this is set in the 1960s, set in a different universe where they're like famous characters. It could make a lot of sense for Galactus to win, their universe be destroyed, and boom, hello. They come into our main Marvel, whatever the number is called, universe. That would make a lot of sense. That way we can get the full brunt of what Galactus is capable of. Heroes losing is something we don't see a lot.
You think you think they lose in the sense of like Galactus successfully eats their planet?
Sure.
Holy shit.
That'd be fun.
Wild. Because I guess like have they? I'm sure it's been drawn somewhere, but like a depiction of Galactus actually just like consuming a planet.
No, maybe so. Yeah, I can't say definitively no. I think so, maybe. But like we have seen worlds get destroyed, like in the Secret Wars event. So
yeah,
that'd be fun. And again, like, having this be not only in a different time period, but in a different universe completely gives a lot more free reign to a new interpretation of the Fantastic Four that we have not seen, where they're beloved people. I mean, granted, we saw that in these two past movies, the Tim Story movies, where they are like famous people. They can do that again here, but set it in the 1960s and then have all this weird, cool technology, even though it's in the 1960s. It's kind of weird, right? Just have this weird mashup of themes and elements and aesthetics. Get the full crazy cartoony Galactus, and then have them fight him and lose because it's Galactus.
it would be fun to see it be like you know how like back in like a 60s era you would have like, or hell, they even did it in like Iron Man 2 with the Stark Expo with Howard Stark being like, oh, the world of tomorrow, and it's like all these like old timey imaginations of the future. Like that could be just like their actual world they're living in.
I think exactly. I think it's going to be like a futuristic 1960s,
like Jetson style or something.
Exactly, like 100%. And I think that'd be a very cool aesthetic. It'd be a very cool design, and I'm excited for that. And then it gives us free reign to keep it closed in. And then when they get to the Marvel Universe, that's when you can introduce my GOAT, Dr. Doom. Yeah. Or Dr. Doom could be a character that also witnessed the destruction and then comes into the Marvel Universe from their same timeline or universe per se, and is like harbors a grudge towards heroes that are supposed to be heroes but failed. I don't know. I'm just thinking about this off the top of my head. But I just want a good Dr. Doom in the MCU, and hopefully they give us that down the line in phase 6 and 7 and beyond.
I think I pitched the idea of like our MCU like offering up like, hey, one these great new minds of Dr. Doom coming in to like help everybody, and then like, you know, being displaced from their Earth. Now here's Reed, and he's like, oh, I can help you with this stuff. Oh, it's easy, do this, and you know, he starts getting glory and fame from it like indirectly, and Doom's just like fucking Richards. Like,
exactly. It could be very interesting. But yeah, anything else you want to add there about Ralph Ineson?
Great. I wonder, cause I think they were. I feel like they were specifically saying like he's doing the voice of Galactus. So I don't know if he's going to be like the face in the mask. I think it would still work if he is.
I think it could still work. Yeah. I didn't think about that, but yeah, I think he'll be the face. He'll have the dots on his head. I think he'll do it the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, they probably will do something because, you know, we're scaling up the man, so it's kind of hard to act against anybody that's not of equal size.
Yep. But moving on, we have a spin-off movie happening, Nathan, and I, for one, am so excited.
I didn't see this coming.
Me neither. I thought you were going to do a Spider-Man quote. I'm glad you restrained yourself.
It seems like you haven't caught on what I meant.
What did you mean?
What character are we getting a spinoff for? Go ahead, read the news.
Oh no!
Good night, everybody.
Oh no! A new John Wick spinoff movie featuring Caine, Donnie Yen's Caine, who can't see, so you didn't see this coming.
You knew this was coming, Pete.
No, I thought I averted it, but it came back around.
I thought I was out.
Nathan brought me back in.
Great ass. I'm mixing quotes. It's all
out. But yeah, Donnie Yen's Caine, one of the best characters. Stop it. One of the best characters of 2023 for me. Just completely stole the movie from me in a great way. He didn't like, all I care about is Caine, but whenever he was on screen, I'm like, this guy is the coolest character of all time. Just cool. Banter with Wick was hilarious. Great ending for him as well.
It was
really
I
loved it.
That like not only because they easily could have just been like, this is a man who's damn near on the same level as John Wick, and he's like evil henchmen coming after him, and just like no name badass. But they were like, no, I know John. He's my friend. I don't want to do this. I have a daughter. They give you so much to care about, and it's already Donnie Yen, so you already like him. But just all the actual good story points, you're like, fucking A. How can we spent 4 movies. I want John to get out. I want Caine to get out.
Yeah, which makes again the ending duel between them so amazing and pivotal and interesting.
Yeah.
And speaking of the ending, the movie ends. It's not even a post-credit scene, right? I don't think it is.
It is.
It is, okay. Rina Samara, it's Hiroki Sanada's daughter. Comes to try and kill him, right? Because he killed Hiroyuki. Yeah. He killed her father. She wants revenge, which is already very interesting because he's looking for his own daughter. And I'm like, is she going to kill somebody else's father like he killed her father? Like, there's so many interesting things happening in the ending sequence about father, daughters. It's very interesting. And we see them walk up to each other. He's going to finally meet his daughter that he has not been able to meet for a long time, at least. But then she's right there, and the movie ends. And it's like, well, what happens? Well, we know there's a movie happening, so he doesn't die in that sequence. But what happens there?
That's coming like, if you rewatch the movie, like he didn't want to do that either, really.
No, he didn't. Yeah, not at all. God dang. So I need to rewatch. I've only seen it once. I've only seen John Wick 4 once. I need to
it's in our commentary gaps.
Yeah, so maybe post the Fox Marvel hell that Nathan put us in. After that, we can do it. Of course. So here's hoping. So I'm just maybe do they team up Nathan, or is he going to be after him the whole movie? Like, is this a cat and mouse? Is this a cat and mouse situation, or are we getting a obligatory "I hate you, but we got to work together" situation?
I could see being like, I hate you, work together through the journey. Him dispelling wisdom and insight to her, being like, "Oh God, what am I turning into?" type deal.
That would be amazing. She has not been confirmed to return. All we know so far is that the film is happening. Filming begins in Hong Kong next year. So yeah, Hong Kong, which we have not been to in the John Wick universe yet. They were in Tokyo last time. The fight with ninjas and stuff happened in Tokyo. We've been
in a number of places.
Yeah, but Hong Kong, I'm just very interested in. Yeah, John Wick is a normal fucking world. It's set in modern day, but just the setting is also very interesting because in this world there's a lot of different assassins, and wherever they are, there's just a lot of different environments. More neon, I know. But yeah, I'm excited. I love this. We are getting Ballerina next year as well, which stars
Ana de Armas.
Thank you very much. Ana de Armas, which is going to be
amazing. Taylor-Joy.
What?
I heard you stuck on and I was like, Anya Taylor-Joy.
I was going to say that I'm thankful for you. Yeah, that I didn't mess up completely. But in John Wick was revealed in the CinemaCon, as we talked about. John Wick is in the trailer, at least, that they showed at CinemaCon to investors and audiences. So that'd be cool. Do they review? Yeah, do they review that John Wick is alive in this Caine spinoff?
Either that, or he, similar to the ballerina, this could just be a flashback, addressment of like a past because they're longtime friends, clearly.
Good point. Yeah, this movie could just be a prequel to John Wick 4. I didn't even consider that.
Or I mean, I think it could bounce back and forth. I mean,
a good old challengers to it.
yeah, 24 years ago.
So that'd be cool. And me and you both have just been huge Donnie Yen fans for a long time.
Yeah. This may be my excuse to get us doing the Hitman movies.
Yeah, which I've never watched. Yeah, those have been a blank space for me. So that'd be cool. Supergirl got a release date finally as well. WB set up a lot of release dates. And Supergirl was the most interesting one. Coming out June 2026. 1 year. Yeah, kind of. 1 year after Superman Legacy. And this is just very interesting to just be on, like, I always want to keep track of like James Gunn's DCU, how he's creating this universe. And we've been talking about how many movies is he going to do in contrast or in comparison to the MCU is starting out. Like, right? They had Iron Man 1, technically, The Incredible Hulk as well, to start things off. But then they took a gap, or they did Iron Man 2, and then took a gap, and then Captain America, or something along those lines. I don't know.
They paused a year, did Iron Man 2, paused another year, did Cap and Thor, and then they were pretty much consistently a year every installment.
Okay. It's very interesting because, going to the DCU now, we got a whole slate that was given to us by James last year or 2 years ago now. And just it's very interesting to see this come to pass or come to fruition now. So Superman Legacy is coming out next year. I think it's the only DC movie next year. Am I missing something? Joker's this year.
When is the Batman Part 2?
Batman Part 2 got delayed to 2026, right? I think Batman Part 2. Yeah, I think it's October. Yeah, October 2nd, 2026. So yeah, usually what we're looking forward to probably is going to be if a Batman movie or if a DCU movie isn't happening, we'll get like an Elseworlds movie, either Batman or something like the Joker. But yeah, so we were wondering what's happening first, because they announced the Batman Caped Crusader movie a long time ago during that first big video announcement from James Gunn. Yeah. But since then, we've had nothing about like the Batman. I said Caped Crusader, I meant Bold. Brave and the Bold was the title. So Superman's coming out 2025. We know already that Andy Muschietti is directing, but we didn't have a date. Supergirl had the casting already with the girl from House and the Dragon, which I love. Millie Alcock, thank you. And then they got the director on board, the person who did Supergirl director, the person that did the one Margot Robbie ice skating movie that I liked.
I, Tonya.
Yeah, I, Tonya. Supergirl director. It'll be here. Greg Gillespie. Again, he did I, Tonya and other things like that. He's the person that was like tapped to direct it, but I don't know if he was official. But makes the most sense here. A man. Gee Willikers. But he made a lot of great movies in general, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so they got the director, they got the actress. She's appearing in Superman next year, and they're moving full steam ahead on her movie for June 2026, which, in my opinion, means the earliest we can get the next Batman movie will be a year after the Batman Part 2, which I'm now assuming Batman Brave and the Bold to come out sometime in 2027. In between Batman Part 2 and what we can think is Batman Part 3, which is probably going to happen way down the line, 2030 probably. But yeah, I'm very curious to see when the Batman movie is happening, and I'm very happy that they're moving full steam ahead on Supergirl coming out in 2026. So we're gonna have Supergirl and the Batman. 2026 is gonna be sad. Batman Part 2, Supergirl, and Supergirl will be coming out 1 month after Avengers 5 and the Mando and Grogu movie. 2026 summer is already heating up.
Oh my God.
Big time.
What year is it?
That's very exciting. Oh, speaking of 2026 as well, WB had another big movie to announce last week. They kind of took the internet by storm. Lord of the Rings is coming back to cinemas.
Oh, yes.
Not for a reboot, but a new story. In Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum is happening, not directed by Peter Jackson, directed by Caesar himself, Andy Serkis.
Gollum himself.
Good point. Gollum himself, Caesar.
Gollum first.
Gollum himself, Caesar.
King Kong himself.
Snoke himself.
Character 113 going on 30 himself.
But Andy Serkis is doing the Hunt for Gollum movie, which is crazy. The first thing that it was like last week in the morning, it was just that a new Lord of the Rings movie is happening. I was like, whoa, okay. What is it going to be about? So many potential theories. 1 hour later, boom, the title was called Hunt for Golem, and boom, is directed by Andy freaking Serkis.
Director of Venom Let There Be Carnage.
Yeah, the directing part didn't get me excited. Like everybody else, was like, oh, Andy Serkis, oh my god, he's
cook.
I'll let him cook, but he's not a director I'm gonna get out of my chair for.
I think this is a good dish for he knows though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
It's like I mean, he was already he was second unit director on the Hobbit movies, and
oh, was he?
Yeah, and he was constantly going around doing readings. I think he did a full audiobook of the Hobbit. So he's very in Middle Earth stuff, right alongside Peter Jackson.
That's exciting. I'm trying to find the story of this Hunt for Golem thing. I looked it up somewhere, but now I lost it. I watched the video, and then I forgot it. So that's how it goes these days. But Hunt for Golem, it's going to, of course, take place in the past. Peter Jackson's very excited about exploring Golem's history, which I guess is revealed in Return of the King. But they want to go into more detail about. I do remember that actually from Return of the King. I do watch these movies. But more, of course. Believe me.
Guns very cool, very slimy.
So yeah. There's speaking of Trump, his movie did premiere, not his movie, but the movie about him premiered at Caine today called The Apprentice.
Oh, is that the one with Sebastian Stan?
Yeah, Sebastian Stan's playing Trump and Jeremy Strong is playing his lawyer.
That's fine.
Both of which are getting Oscar buzz for their performances. The movie, not so much. It's very mixed, as you could assume a movie about Donald Trump to be.
It's happened before though, where a movie's been mixed, but the performance.
Exactly. So people are saying, could the performances go through? And yeah, I'm very curious to see what The Apprentice is all about. It is coming out, I think, election month in November, so that's going to be controversial.
Also, marketing standpoint, good call.
Yeah. Did the movie help him get reelected? Oh my gosh.
That would suck. Oh fuck. Yeah. I miscalculated.
I
forgot.
This November is going to be oof. Just
oof. I think I was Spider-Man 2. Shit.
What?
I think I quoted Spider-Man 2 when I said that.
That could be about anything. But yeah, if people want to look
the sun.
If people want to look up the Hunt for Golem, they could. But yeah, the story, if I do recall, Viggo Mortensen, who plays Aragorn.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. It's a mission between Aragorn and Gandalf to go track down this golem character before of course they meet him in Two Towers. So it's about like the key to him and the of course the influence of the ring, that kind of stuff. But of course there's more to it. It's not just a tracking down story. There's a lot of depth as well. My friend Auden has said. So the title doesn't convey a lot of interest to me, but the story that I looked up, I was like, okay, they could actually cook here. They could make a theatrical movie about this. Because just the title, The Hunt for Golem, sounds very much like a fan film, which there was.
That was the whole thing. Apparently, it got taken down and claimed by WB, and it was
by accident.
Yeah. So it's back.
And then it's back. Yeah.
This would be interesting. Was there any word of Viggo coming back?
No, I was going to ask you. Do you think Viggo could come back? Gandalf, he's still alive, right? What's his name?
Ian McKellen. Yeah, he's still around. He's up there, but he's still around. I think
I want to film it real quick.
Jesus, but I mean, yeah, I think Ian McKellen would be open to do it, given if there's a bit more practicality, because I know he wasn't very happy filming The Hobbit in mostly green environments. The green screen, that is.
No, yeah, I heard about that too.
As far as Viggo Mortensen, I think he would be, because the only reason he turned down coming back for the last Hobbit movie was because he recognized, Aragorn's not in that story. So no, that was it. And even to that point, they still teed him up for Legolas to go find him. to full connect to the OG Rings trilogy, which that's fun. But here, Aragorn's a big player. I think he would definitely be open to doing it.
Okay. Because I think they could do it, or I wonder how far in the past is it? Would recasting be acceptable for that? Would they be fine with that?
Will they just DH?
DH, yeah.
Because even if they DH, it doesn't have to be like they're not like I imagine they're not like young men. So
yeah, right. We'll have to see. But I'm curious to see what cast members would be returning and if this is viable. I think the date. I'm always about movie release dates. And whenever big franchises do return, it's very interesting because I have to go back to what I've been saying is that it's a crowded marketplace. And this is what I had for the idea of like them bringing back Star Trek to the big screen. I'm like, where do you put it now? Like wherever you put it is going to be a week after a Marvel movie or a week before a DC movie these days, or you put it in December. December's Disney locked down December for the next decade, going back and forth between Avatar and Star Wars. And it looks like it's coming out in December 2026, 1 week after the Rey movie, or the theorized Rey movie, Star Wars, The Return of Rey, coming out December 2026. It looks like WB has a date set for Christmas. Untitled WB event film is set for like December 18th, or the week after December 18th, I mean. And I think that'll be very interesting to see, can a Lord of the Rings film like this, a prequel film, can it survive in a world where Star Wars is there and maybe another family movie's out that Christmas season? It's very interesting to me. I'm very curious to see if those two movies can cohabitate the box office. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
I mean, every Middle Earth movie has come out in December.
Exactly, and the year it didn't was when The Force Awakens started, right? Like 2014 was Five Armies, I think, or 2013 was Five Armies.
Well, the last Middle Earth movie was 2014 December, so year before Star Wars.
So 1 year before Star Wars. So then they never had a chance to test that out. So that'd be very interesting. But going through some of the last couple of things here, we have Last of Us season. Okay, let's talk about it right now. Last of Us season 2 image, keeping it in the WB interest here. So Last of Us season 2 image came out recently. I want to pull it up actually because it's not much. It's just image of Joel and Ellie, but I want to share it because it had people thinking.
I saw the lights.
Where's it at? There we go. Well, I almost clicked leave studio, but I didn't want to leave Nathan. I have things to say.
Please God, don't leave me. Don't make me vamp.
Don't leave me here.
Oh man.
Oh, there we go. So this is Ellie. I played this mission. Wow, 71K. People are excited for the show, aren't they? And this is Ellie. I assume this is very early prologue chapter for Ellie, correct?
Yeah, this is not even spoilers really, but it's just like early on in the game. It's like, all right, Ellie, Dina, go check in on the tower.
Exactly. Yeah, Ellie and Dina. Dina's a new character for season 2. She's a friend of Ellie's. And then they go on a mission together. They go on a mission because they have 3 scouting missions. People go in all different directions. Her and Dina and Ellie go on a mission to just go scout this store as well as some other places. And then they talk and hunt down some stuff. Is that not more? It's more so of a just checking out than like hunting. But then shit hits the fan.
It's just surveillance recon of the perimeter.
That's the word I'm looking for. Surveillance. Yeah. So her and Dina are going off about that, and then here's our first look at Joel. Good
Oh,
old Joel, looking
hair.
old. We're on Joel hair watch. But yeah, he is talking to Ellie here. The lights are there, and what's going on here? Why does he look so concerned? Is Ellie upset in this scene? What's going on?
My boy just his knuckles hurt right now.
They do. No spoilers for this podcast just yet. But it is interesting that we are getting this scene. It's been a minute since I've played Last of Us Part 2, but there is a fight that occurs here between Ellie and Joel that is talked about in this scene. Not in this exact scene, but of course in this span of the mission. Her and Dina do talk about what Ellie and Joel were upset about the night before.
It's a big night.
And a lot of that happened. A lot happened that night. And yeah, so that's why she's upset with Joel on the first mission, and a number of other reasons. But yeah, somebody did say, like, I'm curious why we're getting this scene, because they don't flash back to the full front of this scene until way later in part 2. Mm-hmm. Again, in the first half of part 2, this scene is recollected, but we don't visually see what happens in terms of the fight, the dance, all that kind of stuff until later on in part 2. So we're already getting some interesting swerves, I should say, or different interpretations of how the Last of Us Part 2 is going to run. We already know we're getting a lot more than even I expected. We are getting Seattle already, and I expected Seattle because that's the main focus of part 2.
Just the first one.
But yeah, I'm very curious to see how much of part 2 are we going to get. We're only getting, I think, 8 or 7 episodes. I think it might be 1 episode less than season 1. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. But we're getting 8 or 7 episodes for Last of Us Part 2. I have to imagine this is going to continue into part 3 or into season 3. But where do they stop? Where do they start? Yeah, I was going to say something else, but I don't want to spoil. So yeah, how much of Abby are we getting? How much of Joel are we getting? I'm very curious to see what's happening here. The storytelling is just very curious for me as a huge fan of. You can take away that screen. No, I can do it myself. I'm just very curious as a huge fan of part 2, where the story stops, where it starts, how are you gonna adjust the story, the structure of the game compared to the structure of a TV show, because they're very different things. And it's hard to just do like, hey, we're just gonna make part 2 a TV show. It's not that easy because the storytelling is very interesting, even for a game.
Yeah.
So
it's a long game.
It's a long game. So we'll have to wait and see. But I do want to talk about some of the movies and X-Men here coming up soon. But before we do that, Dune Prophecy is coming out this year. Did we see the trailer for that yet? Dune Prophecy? Have you seen it?
I did see that.
What'd you think?
Very compelling. It's very visually consistent, but also felt a bit diverse. And it's how you say framing, I guess, camera, because it's not demeaning.
Yeah.
But it still feels like something that I'm like, oh, I'm into this. Like visually, it's pleasing, but also like getting a deeper understanding of the Bene Gesserit and their whole plan of seeding their way into every corner of political intrigue in the galaxy.
100%. And yeah, we don't have time to watch the full trailer right now, but I implore people to go watch it because it's very interesting. And like Nathan said, it has a different feel to Dune than what you would expect from a direction from Denis. I don't think Denis is directing an episode. Yeah, I don't think he is.
Is he producing?
I think he's producing. But then it has that feel of like Dune, of what you come to love about Dune, that like mysterious nature, that conniving nature of the Bene Gesserit is still felt. And just like the political intrigue is just oozing off of the screen from every single character, from every single direction. I'm very excited to see how the politics, the machinations here develop. And it does have like a macro thing of like, the whole Bene Gesserit plan and how it connects to with Paul and everything. But I think they're going about it in a very interesting way by just centering it around these group of interesting women and how they come first. Because before they can even do anything with Paul, they have to get influence themselves. I think the show is about themselves getting that influence within the courts, within each of the empires. So I think it's going to be diverse in terms of like we're getting a number of different empires and groups and nations. And I don't even know what they're called, but just like different kingdoms and stuff like that. Because we have Harkonnens, right? Harkonnens, the royal house that Florence Pugh is a part of. And then we have Paul's family, the Atreides, like all different stuff. I think we've seen semblances of that in this show, but this is that years ago. So doesn't support any of that.
Granted, I'm not super well versed in Dune lore outside of these films. I don't know if there's other great houses. If maybe since we are so far in the past, maybe there is other houses that aren't existing in the present time we're watching that may go under throughout this journey.
Maybe, yeah, you're right. I'm not very sure about that either, but that's definitely a possibility. But yeah, that's coming out this fall. That's very exciting. So this fall is a lot of upcoming, just great TV shows. Like House of the Dragon and Rings of Power had their first trailers as well, and those both look outstanding. House of the Dragon's coming out. What?
Is Penguin this year?
Penguin's coming out this year as well. Yeah, so Penguin, House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, this Dune Prophecy TV show. I'm excited for Squid Game season 2 this December.
I really need to get on
that. So Squid Game's back. We're getting Arcane season 2, which is going to be the best show of the fucking year because it's one of the best shows of all time. I've seen it 4 times, maybe even more. It's just a peak.
I've seen the first episode.
Nathan, I'm telling you. It's just, oh my God. When I live and breathe Arcane. I was obsessed when that show came out. I still am today. Anyways, Arcane season 2 is coming out, and then Star Wars Skeleton Crew is coming out this year, Agatha. So a lot of TV shows that we'll all be talking about. Did you already watch Rings of Power season 1 yet?
No, I haven't touched Rings of Power.
So I would suggest watching that, and House of the Dragon. I would watch that too as well.
Will I commit to the world of Game of Thrones?
But yeah, and then before we go back to our reviews to end off this episode here, Batman Caped Crusader. Did you see? I think I could show some of the images there because they looked kind of interesting. Actually, I'm already on Twitter.
I did see images. There wasn't a trailer, right?
There wasn't a trailer. No.
Okay.
I think it was just images.
I know it's a classic art style that they've used for many a Batman property. I think it's the Bruce Timm art style.
I think so. Yeah, it looks similar to that for sure. I just clicked on it. What happened?
I know I did hear like some people would be like, same style. And I was like, oh well, yeah, sure, but also like it works for me. Tried and true.
Yeah. Here we go. Share screen. So yeah, it does look super interesting. I'm very intrigued by what we get here. Old school Batman. There we go. Old school Batman. I assume that's Bruce and Selena. Maybe not. I don't know. And that's Bruce. There's other images on the article. But yeah, they just look more so like this. And I'm very curious to see how this goes. 1940s set piece. Again, it was supposed to be on HBO, but then it got scrapped and moved over to Prime Video. So I'm excited to see what Prime Video does with this show. Maybe it can have multiple seasons. Does the 1940s aesthetic, is it going to like be as interesting as it was back in the 90s with like Batman the Animated Series? Is this going to be like... Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, that was a different time period. But like just the old-timey kind of Batman aesthetic. I'm very curious to see how it rolls, how it plays in modern day.
This may sound odd, but this may sound odd. But just when I look at the art styles here, and I see the way the faces are drawn and mixed in with like the clothing they're wearing, it really does feel like this is of the time period they're taking place, like comparatively to other projects they've drawn. Yeah,
good point. Yeah, it looks on point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very excited for this show, and I would definitely want to keep watching it, keep our eyes on it as it airs. Similar to how we did with the Superman revival show and Superman, or My Adventures with Superman, how that has a
That's
throwback.
coming. When's that coming out? Isn't that about
Oh
to
my
come out?
God! Wait a minute.
Is it out now?
Is that this Friday, Nathan?
Oh shit, dude! I'm happy.
Is that this Saturday? Are we getting My Adventures with Superman again this Saturday?
I have a reason to live.
Oh my gosh! Is that coming back?
Because they had like a really small teaser.
Oh man. Yeah, maybe. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let's talk apes. Let's talk apes here.
Together?
Strong. So yeah, I want to close this episode out, talk about apes, and then the finale of X-Men 97. Oh, I got to text you in a second. Talk about apes. What were your thoughts on apes? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Are we like late enough that we can just chat spoilers?
Yeah. Full spoilers for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. First of all, give your overall thoughts, and then we'll dive into spoilers.
Sure. I think it was visually breathtaking. Clearly, we've already come so way in developing the technology, which you can see in every ape installment. But like even now, you're just like, holy hell! Look how every emotion, every like nuance, like twitch of the eye is just cemented in the performance on screen. Like every bit of the performance is truly captured. We've really got to fast track that recognition and awards, dude. They're not just the they deserve like mainstream as well. They really do. Also, it's a beautiful just journey. Like you really get to spend a lot of time in this new era of the planet, and like get a feel of like how everything's working, not just with these different ape factions, but also with humans themselves, and a lot like revealed in that side as well. And it's so captivating.
Yeah, it really captures the adventure feel of Planet of the Apes, that adventurous intrigue that I think we haven't really captured since 1968's Planet of the Apes. Granted, I haven't seen the sequel films, but I doubt they're as adventurous as 68 movie, which has a lot of intrigue and early adventure before, Heston gets captured. I heard they're pretty wild too. I would love to do commentaries on those eventually. I just watched a podcast about that today, actually. Sequel movies. I would still love to watch them because I've never seen them. But yeah, I love the Reeves movies. I love Rise, but Rise took place in a city. It was more so about James Franco's character and now the rise of how this disease started in that complex there.
You see the tweet. Somebody like took the screenshot of like the shot of the kingdom on the seaside from this movie, and it was like this all happened because James Franco was trying to cure Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Sorry, give me a second. Yeah. So that was very interesting. But this movie, man, it really took me by storm because even though I love Rise, like I said, it didn't have that adventurous feel to it. It felt like a great, freaking amazing blockbuster. And then Dawn and War are very serious movies. They're serious, more so War. War is like not even high octane, just a somber, unsettling drama about the growth of apes and the dismantling of human civilization once and for all, or the last vestiges of it. While Dawn is this compelling, one of the best movies ever made in terms of like compelling ape drama and the complexities of the relationships between humans and apes. Can they coexist? What does it mean to be human? Can apes persevere over human society? Are apes just like humans with the inclusion of a character like Koba? The question that movie asks is just beyond worthwhile. But what I love about Kingdom is that it doesn't get into these complex questions about human nature as much as the Reeves movies do. It doesn't really tackle that. But we do get an adventurous feel that I just, again, haven't felt in a long time, even with the Apes trilogy. This movie is just so adventurous. And I would love to do a comparison between this and the Maze Runner, because this is directed by my boy Wes Ball, who I've been a huge fan of since 2014's Maze Runner. Again, the short story, like Maze Runner was my all throughout my high school experience. I loved those books. Read it so many times. It was my birthday. It was my Christmas gift to get the Maze Runner Blu-ray, and I watched it with my parents again on Christmas Day because I was so excited to get it. And then I forced them to watch the Blu-ray extras with me Christmas Day. They're all like, "Do we have to watch these?" Yes, because I'm a huge Maze Runner fan. I want to see how this world was made. And it was Wes Ball's first movie, and just seeing how
and his last.
I know. Oh, and see how Dylan O'Brien was cast is very interesting. I was a huge fan of his back in the day, 2014. Back in the day.
I remember hearing stuff like he's close to getting the role of Spider-Man in the MCU, but he was committed to the Maze Runner.
I know, right? And then that movie came out, American Assassin. That was fun. But anyways,
what was it, a monster? Something?
Love and Monsters.
Monster.
Which is great with Jessica Henwick as well. Where's she been? I miss her. She's great.
Glass Onion 2 years ago.
Yeah, not enough. Oh yeah, she was in this one movie with Julia Garner last year, The Resort Hotel. I forget what it's called. It's good. It's on Hulu. Anyways, this world they've created is still again adventurous and filled with a lot more depth than I was expecting. Now, it doesn't tackle what does it mean to be human, or what does it mean to be an ape in human society. That stuff is still tackled towards the back end, but we get a fantastic hero and coming of age journey from Noah here, played by Owen Teeks. And his coming of age, his leadership journey is incredibly compelling. Because they had a hard job of tackling a main character that is not Caesar. Caesar was he wasn't born a leader, but he quickly became one halfway through Rise. But it's a different journey because you get the assistance of James Franco and becoming used to human society, and then he had a much more bigger, more profound journey. But Noah here was very compelling in terms of quickly becoming, as an audience member, connected with his friend group. I'm forgetting their names now, but they're very interesting. His future girlfriend, his best friend.
That was a great build-up of camaraderie with their hunting the eggs.
It's such a great sequence, right? Because you're getting to know the capabilities of Noah as an agile character, but also as a friend, what he's willing to do for his friends. Hey, you two get these eggs. I'll go get the other one. I'll do the hard part.
That's a beautiful thing of the cemented, the compassion that's not just in humans, but is in apes as well. It's just we can't take them all, never take them all. Always leave one.
Yeah. So that was very interesting. Because as I'm talking again, just spoilers of it all. So if you haven't seen Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, please do so, because it's a fantastic movie. It's my number 3. Maybe after today, it's be my number 2. Challengers is just so good. And
it's up there.
And Dune's number 1, Challengers number 2, Kingdom's number 3, right now at least for me.
Everybody go see it before it's on digital.
Yeah, exactly. I know Furiosa comes out this weekend, but go see both.
It is my number 3.
Sweet. Behind Free Guy and Dune?
Yeah, behind Fall Guy and Dune, and then above time.
Abigail
top 5, baby. Let's go.
Good. It's a good movie. Both the Kevin Durant love you have here. I see that.
This a big credit to the movie is that we are approaching a new protagonist that isn't Caesar, and credit to them, he's not just Caesar 2.0. He's not.
Thank God, right?
Yeah, he's not just I'm the new Messiah. It's not Apes Messiah, It's just he's just a survivor, man. A survivor of an awful tragedy. He's more Moses than anything. If Caesar's Jesus, this boy's Moses trying to free his people. And we'll just move back to their peaceful land, dude. Because even by the end, he could have easily just been all right, I defeated this ruler. Now I'll lead the people. It's no, we're all equal, man. We're just going back to our lives, and it's a very humble being.
We're going back to our lives, but forever changed, which is always a very interesting concept.
But also holding like this jumps majorly to the end, but like holding that like newfound faith in these ideals that Caesar stand, and that was a really beautiful thing.
Let's talk about this. Yeah, like the discussion on the legacy of Caesar's ideals and how it's perpetrated in a number of different avenues in this movie between Noah's character, Proximus's character, Rava. What was the guy's name that died in the river? Raka. I don't think he's dead, by the way. I think he's alive. Right?
Hopefully. Please, and I love him. He's my favorite character.
I instantly thought we'll see him in the third act, but he never showed up again. I'm like, oh wait, is he dead? I don't think so, but he's great. He was a good character. But even him, I think, was also pretty wrong in this movie. A character with a lot of knowledge, but I think was slightly optimistic, and it reminds me of The Last Jedi, where it's like you had a lot of extremes, right? And I always got to talk about The Last Jedi, Evan. Yes, because it's one of the best movies of all time.
You activated me.
And anyways, like, you know, Rose is extreme optimism. DJ is extreme, like, you know, pessimism, right? Like, I can't pick a side, whatever. Rose is like, pick a side, and Finn's like in the middle. And then I think in
character.
What?
But Evan, he has no character in those movies.
I know, right? Yeah, Finn gets discarded. He's useless.
Hey.
Returning it to Apes. But similar thing to this movie, where I think Proximus is peak, like apes are the best, humans are evil, and then Noah is somewhere in the middle, and then you have a character like Raka, who is like peak optimism. Like, we must be nice to these humans, we must help them, kind of thing. And I think it's very interesting that, and then we have, of course, Nova turns out to be May, right? May, who, oh my gosh, fantastic. By the way, I love her actress, girl from Witcher, Freya Allen. She is incredible. Fantastic actress there. I never finished Witcher, sorry. But she was. I never will now. I might watch season 3 to see the end of Henry Cavill's tenure as Geralt. But yeah, she was great in that show. But yeah, I love her here. And you go in thinking via the fucking posters, it's going to be a good road trip adventure movie with Raka, Noah, and May saving the day. No! And this is what makes it so fucking good. And I'm going to go back to the whole Caesar legacy thing in a minute here. But because May's character is, of course, very important to that. And the way that May, a lot more conniving than I ever expected, not the nicest person at all in this movie, was very willing, accepting of Noah possibly dying at the very end of the movie. His clan, she was just like, if you live, you live, basically. In terms of, like, she opened the door, Proximus was there, fuck, we're going to jumpstart it anyways, blow up the whole place, and hell, I don't think a lot of Noah's Hawk people survived. Maybe they all did. That's like optimistically thinking. But maybe some of them didn't in the flood. And that was all because of May, who Noah's like, hey, don't do it.
It was really, it is a big testament, I think, to like the humanization of these ape individuals for these movies, that like the whole time I am like, oh my God, fuck this gorilla villain who keeps besmirching the ideas of Caesar, like it gets called out for, which is great, and just like constantly like knocking Noah down, and then you see his death by drowning, and I'm like, oh, this, I don't feel good.
Yeah. You know? And Proximus isn't necessarily wrong in a lot of his thoughts, but he's what?
The way he says evolution.
Evolution.
The concept of evolution.
It's so good. One of the more intriguing characters of 2024 for sure.
We'll learn. I will learn.
Ah,
here, dude.
I need to go put on my shoes and go watch this movie right now.
He's from Power Rangers. That actor.
Yeah. But yeah, it was so fascinating because his desecration of Caesar's legacy is that part is wrong, right? In terms of like he is killing other apes. He's forcefully he's killing other apes, and B, he's forcibly trying to get them under his control. What Caesar did, what he doesn't know, but Caesar like had he was a good leader. And with that part, everybody knows, but like he was more so apes do not kill other apes, and he was more galvanizing, like, hey, please join us, that kind of thing. He wasn't killing other apes so that they could forcibly join him. Because Proximus' idea was, hey, I want all our apes to stick together. We gotta stick together. But if you don't want to do that, then you have to die. It's like, whoa, like, wait. Like, can you phrase it as a question instead of just forcing people to come in there? You're taking over other people's territory physically, like forcibly helping up, and then forcing them to do your bidding. That's all not Caesar's thing.
Burned down their village and
took all that. That's off. It's horrible. But the part that I think even Noah at the end of the movie agrees with is his thoughts on humans. And he says he does not want to go back to humans being in cages. He does not want to go back to apes being the subservient species. He wants to be over humans. And again, that gets pulled to the nth degree where they're hunting humans. That's not right either. But at the same time, if humans succeed, as you see at the end of this movie, what do you think they're going to do with the apes? They don't want to go back, just like May here, right? May wants, and what's so fascinating is that May is a little girl. She wasn't alive back in the glory days of the Rise franchise, right? She doesn't remember what it was like.
You're right. She didn't experience it, but I was like pretty impressed, like how well she was able to like recount the whole outbreak events and what happened.
And you can infer, given her intelligence and everything that she was like kept underground, so she wasn't influenced by the disease, and it's been centuries since, so the disease is probably dissipated like diseases do. You can assume a mother character, a parental character, recounted the glory days to her countlessly growing up, which is why she is such a avid case of like, I want these things to go back. That's what it was when you were kids, right? And I'm very curious to see Wes Ball's thoughts on my idea, but I assume, as I watch the movie, as a character for May, she was raised on the ideals of what human civilization used to be. You're raised in a cave and just like, back in the day, we had all these great stories, just like when you're a kid right now and you get fairy tales read to you by your parents. And you're like, wow, I love these things. I want this to be real life. And it kind of influences young kids' imaginations, helps you grow up. And I think it's similar to here, where it's like her imagination and her curiosity was fueled by a return to what human civilization should be. But unfortunately, that created a conniving character where she's willing to risk the friendships that she gained in Noah and others, and risk their generosity to fuel her own people's happiness, I guess, and their return.
It is an unfortunate raising on both sides of it, us or them mentality.
Yes. Which is the pinnacle of this franchise, right? It's always been us versus them, or is us so different from them?
The pinnacle, I feel, has always been like, it ends up coming down to that, but every journey has showed you it never had to be that way.
It never had to be that way, and it's never that simple. And I think that's the beauty of the best movie, Dawn, where Caesar thought what he was creating could be different. He thought they could be, again, us versus them. We don't have to be like the humans. We can be better than them. But unbeknownst to them, to him at least, Koba really put a shock to his systems. Like, I guess, even in ape society, we're still going to get murders. We're still going to get death. We're still going to get decay. We're still going to get like the complex issues that he thought they were above as apes compared to human society. And bringing this back around to Kingdom, Proximus kind of doesn't want to go to that past, while May wants to go back to that past. And that clash is completely so interesting, in his clash within Noah, who appreciates human nature, or is beginning to appreciate it due to May, due to Raka, appreciate like human society, what they could possibly, the potential of like helping them could be. But then also, he starts to understand Proximus as well, where he's like, wait, maybe these humans aren't so trustworthy. Which brings me to like one of the best scenes at the end where May and Noah reunite for that split, for that small scene. It's marvelous.
And I love both characters' interpretation of like confronting one another, because they are posting these ideals of like both of their futures. And Noah, you can see he's visibly like frustrated, just like, God, I feel that I can't let you humans do what you're thinking, but also, God, like Caesar would want me to, and just to trust in everything. So he's like has that internal battle, and all this time while May's hearing this, like you could just see like under her, like she has a gun behind her back.
She's a gun behind her back
after the whole journey, and it's like, fuck, dude. No.
What was your interpretation of them? My dad had a question about that immediately after the movie ended. He was like, "What was your thoughts on May there? Was she willing to kill Noah in that scene?"
I think it would have been a matter that like if it came to that, or like at least like I don't think she would have like went on an offensive, but like if something were to like somebody were to charge, like she probably would have like defended herself in that sense. But it sucks that she has to be of that mindset at all.
And I'm glad that was in there. Like that could easily been like just show the front of May, don't show what's behind her, that kind of thing. But I'm glad that Westball again had that intentionality. Be like, oh, she means business and she's ready, even if something was to go down. I agree with your interpretation there. What she did with Noah was horrible. Like she again risked the death of Noah's entire Hawk clan to save her own hide. And yeah, exactly, to save her own hide and create an escape route for her.
From the point of view, like where we're primarily on the side of Apes through these stories, you can watch that and be like, oh fuck no, but also when you have the context in mind that like at this point humans are basically the endangered ones at this rate, is like I can understand like her doing whatever it takes to save her future.
Exactly. She's doing whatever it takes. She met Noah for like a day or two, and she's been with her human place ever since she was alive or born. And yeah, I agree with you. I think what she did with Noah was despicable, and Noah had every right to go up to her and kill her, or at least be very upset with her and lash out. That's what Proximus would have done. That's what anybody in Proximus's group would have done. But it's not what Noah would have done, and Noah didn't do that. That's why she clenched the gun, and she didn't have to use it. That's not who Noah was. Noah learned to be compassionate. He learned to be understanding, but he also learned to understand Proximus's ideals, and he is now more so than in the beginning. In the beginning, he was just like angry and I wouldn't say fearful. I guess there's a little fear in the beginning in terms of his ideas of what these humans are, these Novas are. He was like aware of them and was like, "Hey, get away from me, get off my lawn," kind of thing.
Yeah. The Echoes.
He was more, thank you, it was Echoes. He was more aggressive towards them. He is a lot less aggressive towards them, but he's also like, Proximus was kind of right. Like, these humans cannot be trusted, which is unfortunate because May is allowing that ideology from Proximus to be true because she can't be trusted. Yeah. But also, maybe compared to the humans that we see at the end of this movie, maybe she might be the only one who can't be trusted. Because these humans are going to be looking for communication. They're going to be looking to get back and to rise above the ape civilization. And that's going to be a lot of death. And the actress that we saw at the end, it gets me super excited for the next sequel because I love her and everything that she's in. The Asian woman who played Daisy's mom in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yep. She was in a lot of other sci-fi. She was in The 100.
I think she did Altered Carbon, didn't she?
Jalen said she was in Altered Carbon. I didn't watch that show, but he did. She's in Altered Carbon as well. So she's in a lot of sci-fi television. And if she's our big bad / antagonist in the next one, we're cooking.
It'll be interesting to see the characterization here, because the interesting thing when like you follow Caesar's journey and his like connection to like the main human who gets followed in each installment is like, you had James Franco's character who was like basically his father,
And compassionate. James was always a compassionate person.
Compassionate. Like there was, Caesar kind of felt a sense of betrayal being like put in this institute that he had to break out of, but he still cared for him because of all that history.
He cared for it, and it was necessary for Caesar to become who he meant to be.
Yeah, I think that's what like planted the seed of having him being able to hear out humans and stuff with certain situations. When shit got to like enough's enough, that he would, but like he can also like hear people out. That's why
it was led to Dawn.
Yeah, and Jason Clarke's character, who is like the best human we've had in this series. Yeah, exactly. And that whole connection was it was a tragedy because of the circumstance, not because of what he did. It was just like the world that we're living is against our perfect ideals.
And we talked about it in Dawn in our commentary there. Go check it out. Where we're like, Caesar is so compassionate, he's so understanding of these people, and so is Gary Oldman. He doesn't want to kill the apes, but he asked Jason Clarke, like, we have to go up there. Our people are losing food, and that dam is the only place that can give us energy. And the dam's located right in Caesar's camp. And they were willing to talk it out. Koba just jumpstarts everything. And then even in the final movie, the one human character, the girl, is used thematically as an optimistic future, right? This is what humans can be. She is not diseased, or maybe she is, right? But she is hopeful. Like the fact that they use a little girl, not like a grown-up woman, is because children are always supposed to be looked at as kind of like the hopeful future for human civilization. So she's used as like a hopeful ideal.
I think she's meant to be like the first iteration of like the modern humans we see now who can't speak. Like they won't die from it, but they are like they've de-evolved.
Exactly. Which brings us to now.
Yeah, but like back with like Caesar's, even with like the little girl, Caesar, he shared a bit of time with her, but his more primary focus, like it was his side group who was like looking after Nova. He was all locked on Woody Harrelson, the Colonel. Yes. And that was just a huge like anger, revenge, like no compassion for this guy at all. There's nothing to save this man's soul. But then even in the end, he did feel a bit of pity for his situation, which is such a great thing to Caesar's character. And just like that cemented bit of like him with humans.
Which real quick, I think runs counter again to what Rocket was saying. Rocket was like, Caesar always talked about like us needing to teach these humans and helping humans. Yeah. I think that was early Caesar. I think by the end of War, I don't think Caesar's all about like, hey, we should always be helping humans. I think he's more like preserve our ape communities and, be understanding of humans. We shouldn't be massacring them like, Proximus people are hunting them like we're cowboys. We shouldn't be doing that. But I don't think we should always be helping them, because I think that leads us to falling victim to what human nature. I don't want to say it always is, but because it's a lot more complex than that, obviously. But you might run into what Noah does here, where you fall too compassionate, too understanding. You're going to fall victim to a human, their need to survive at any cost. And that's what happens with May's character here, where she kind of proves Rocca wrong, where it's like.
And that's the reason I'd say Caesar's different experiences with humans, because, you get to this film and Noah, he has like a sense of like there's already like a youth to him, right? He's still like a kid in a sense, who is kind of forced to grow up through this journey, but like his idea of humans are just like, oh, stay away from them, but he doesn't really know them, but he does has that compassion. Hunting humans is wrong stuff, but then when he makes his first real connection with one, it's on the most shaky foundation, and it's like, now you have to move forward from here, and this is the beginning. That's the compelling nature, is like you really don't know where the scales are going to tip by the end of this journey.
You really don't. It's one of the more compelling journeys that I've ever seen, where we're getting a coming of age Noah journey, coming of age journey for May, and their ideals are clashing by the end. Noah is full of like understanding but wariness. May is full of curiosity and bargaining for a world that she has never seen before. But to do it, she just betrayed a friend, I think she considers Noah. But she just betrayed him, like I said. So it's like their ideals are clashing. But then what's the interesting thing about May, she brings human civilization the key, the radio key, basically, to communicate with long distances. But then she doesn't stay. She goes there, witnesses the satellites, and then leaves to go with Noah. But does she go back to human civilization? Is she a wanderer now? When we get to the next movie, is she going to be on any side? Or is she going to be in the middle like Noah was in this movie? I'm very curious to see what happens there because I think she does have some kind of compassion for Noah, no matter if he is wary of her. But it's
There's a couple interesting things that I wonder if they're going to pull from the original series that I could very much see them doing. I don't know if you care about spoilers for the OG.
Go ahead. Yeah. Like I said, I watched a podcast today that spoiled a lot anyways, but
okay. Because there is like a long running thing throughout the series that of the time of the main Planet of the Apes, like full on, they run everything. There is an evolution through time of like the humans that are underground, but like they're slowly being poisoned by like the radiation of like nuclear weaponry that's hidden underneath.
Nuclear weapons.
Yeah, it's 60s. But I do wonder if like they may implement anything there of just like all that time spent there. Obviously they look fine. They don't look like they're irradiated or anything, but I do wonder if maybe one of them is like, yeah, we do have a nuke, like Dune 2 style. Like we have something. Like if you don't, back down, apes, we will destroy the whole planet.
We have atomics.
That was literally the thing in the second Apes movie.
Beneath, right?
Yes, Beneath. Haha. But then like one that's really compelling, which I love, is there's a big open ending thing is by like the very, very end of like the last movie, the Battle for Planet of the Apes, which is there's finally an integrated society between humans and apes, and you see a scene of school, and you see a little kid push like one of like the ape kids because like child nature is being stupid at times, and then there's a statue of Caesar within the class, and of like poetic imagery. There's like a drop of water falling from the eye, like a tear, and you can interpret it two ways. Like, is it Caesar sad about the idea of like humans will truly never there was truly never be peace between the two by seeing something like that, or is it a tear of joy that like his dream of integrated society has finally come to fruition? It's open. It could go either way.
That's interesting. Yeah, I like that idea and then you're right, and then that brings us back to this one where it's like they're probably like, what would Caesar think at this, right? What would Caesar do in this scenario? Would he be happy that like a character like May and Noah are now on opposite sides, or because Caesar was kind of in the same spot where he's kind of like gave himself some space from the humans after dawn, of course, because war was on the way, because he kind of had to. But in this case, Noah gave himself some space. So what would Caesar do in this situation? What would Caesar's ideals? How are they reflected by the end of Kingdom? It's very interesting to think about here.
It especially gives an interesting context when you think like the whole thing Proximus was looking for is getting into the vault of essentially getting a hold of human technology to evolve their own power and take it away from them permanently. But also, and now at this point, the apes are just like, they're back living on their own. They don't have like wide range communication across the globe, but now we've reintroduced humans to be able to communicate across the globe, and they could build numbers. And what will that mean for apes' future? We don't know.
Human communication is one of the more powerful weapons of all. In any apocalyptic story, communication is key. Communication can be uniting. Even if humans are all like in different locations, they can all communicate and they can all galvanize on the topic of, we're the minority now. We got to kill these apes.
It's such a beautiful like both sides of viewing, because if you're watching like any other apocalyptic where like the humans are the underdogs and like you hear that like there's another clan out there, it's like it's that spark of hope of like, hey, more of us who can help each other, we're gonna be okay. But on the ape side, you're like, there's more of them out there. They can make an army. We could go under again.
Yeah, which is so interesting when you hear that, like, yes, you found us. Yes, there's other people out there. Like in other movies, you're like, they did it, yay! In this one, I'm like, oh shit, oh no, like I'm dreading it.
Like at this point, it's not a rebellion against the Empire deal. It's a rebels versus rebels who are turned against each other.
And like you said, Noah's back to being just a Hawk clan. He's gonna need to unite more if he ever's gonna have to come head to head with May's people.
Which that was also a beautiful thing with the training of the Hawks coming
so
together.
beautiful. Yeah.
So, the whole clan singing together to take out Proxima. That's a beautiful climax.
You know, and I know you can appreciate it as well, where we don't get like a full on like head on fight as a climax of the movie. We could easily had that, but we do get something more personal, something more like familial. With just I'm gonna do the whistle, the Hawks are gonna get you, and he's gonna fall off a cliff. He could still be alive. I read an interview with Kevin Durant's like, "You didn't see a body. I could come back."
That's always my thing with the Last Jedi, right? I'm always like, that has my favorite lightsaber duel, and they're like, yeah, in the throne room, and I'm like, no, on Crate, where no hit is made, and it's just philosophical as hell.
Exactly. The more philosophical, the more personal battles are always the more compelling for us. And I like to hear. I do wish we got more Proximus, but I liked whenever I'm wanting more of a character, that's always a good thing, not a bad thing, in my opinion.
Yeah. Part of me was wondering because, like, I didn't know William H. Macy was in this movie.
Let's talk about that character. Yeah. Funny, unintentionally funny as hell, because he was kind of like the sorry for lack of a better word here, but he's kind of like the Uncle Tom of this one, right? Where it's kind of like you know a black character subservient to a white character, but in this case, it's like a white male character subservient to apes, and it was very interesting getting this depiction of human nature in contrast to May. Which I think was very pivotal to have in this movie.
Him being so certain that like humans' times are over, so he's like, I might as well live comfortable.
Yeah, come on.
I'm old, whatever.
I'm old. I got books. Come on.
Which on one hand, I'm like, if I look around, like, I get it.
Me too. I get it. But man, when she kills William H. Macy, and I'm like, yes. But also, that should have been the first time I'm just like, oh, that's when you realize I also like that May is willing to go here.
Yeah, and I also see from the viewpoint of the apes, like taking that in as well, and just like, oh, like we don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't know she was built like this. Like you're killing one of your own kind. You humans do that? Okay, interesting. That's not what the Hawk Clan does. That's what Proximus' character, the people that we're going against currently, is doing. But they were. Yeah, and
they're so good at the build-up, right? Of just like seeing May do something like that, and then like they'll have the next scene where like they're climbing up the cliff, and it's like making sure they don't fall, and like they're helping each other out, and then they get back in, they split up, and Noah's on his own, and then he finds an old book, and it's like it's apes in cages, and it's like, oh my god,
it's so
back and forth. The ping pong of the ideals is so woven perfectly.
It's so interesting. But yeah, you're right. Like, we didn't talk about William H. Macy's character enough. He's so pivotal to May's character. He's such funny, but like it's funny in the sense that like, can you believe a character is like this? But it makes sense.
And they were establishing that like he reads to Proxima to give him like the information and stuff. And,
Roman history.
yeah, and I was like literally sitting here like I'm not super well versed, but I was like, wouldn't it be funny if like he's preaching like the word of Caesar, and it's like, what if he means Julius?
Yeah.
Like what a misinterpretation that would be.
Wrong Caesar, buddy. Yeah. But yeah, man, reading about even Roman history is an interesting point of view, because if you're teaching somebody human nature and you only read to them Roman history, it kind of reminds me of the quote from Arrival, best movie of all time. It's like they're like, why can't we just like give them the question, why are they here? And it's like if you begin to teach them like all these aggressive words, that's all they're going to learn about is aggression. All they're going to learn about is weapon and like stuff like that. Like, why are they here aggressively? You got to start from the very beginning. But by teaching Proximus about Roman history as opposed to other aspects of human nature, you're going to learn about the more aggressive parts of human history, the more dominant and again aggressive parts, and you can kind of see why Proximus is like, I don't want that from humans. Right. I want to be the aggressors, not them, me, apes, which again ties into his name and his ideals. Mm-hmm. It's just a fascinating film. Yeah,
it really is. And another thing real quick, we didn't say, but like right at the beginning, we have a funeral for Caesar.
Yes.
Back in the past. And Evan, that has to be a world record for a movie making me cry. That was under 30 seconds. I was weeping. I was like, oh, I never thought I'd say it. Like 7 years of like knowing of his fate, but then like actually seeing the night of like a funeral pyre for him. I'm just, Maurice is carrying him. I'm just seeing like,
that was so shocking. That was so
Yeah.
shocking. I didn't expect that. So yeah, I love that aspect of it. I loved that so much. I did not expect that either. I thought we were going to jump into Noah, but I'm like, oh, we're continuing war. Like this is right after he dies. Are you kidding me? Holy
And after
shit.
like the beautiful like opening text, and it's like his name was Caesar. Boom.
Cut to Caesar. That was amazing. It was so good. But yeah, I wanted to talk about SP97, but I don't have enough time tonight.
Okay.
Well, what time is it? 11:54, 2:20.
You can go quick. Cameos.
Fuck it. Sorry. Let's do it. I'm tired, but I'll push through because I want to talk about it now. And then if we do it 2 weeks from now, I'll be tired. Anyways, yeah, fuck it. This is gonna be a long episode. Doesn't matter.
I mean, I can compress if we need.
We can, yeah, because we didn't talk about episode 9 either.
We didn't.
But it doesn't matter. Episode 9, episode 10, episode 97 has officially ended. Oh, by the way, I think I might move Kingdom of Planet Apes to 5 stars. I have it at 4.5. I might go full 5. I might go full 5 now that we talked about it with my brother Nathan here. I might go to 5 stars. I'm thinking 5 stars.
That's my quote on Letterboxd.
It is. I saw that one day. I was like, that is Nathan's quote. Interesting.
And then you look at my diary and you're like, yeah.
Yeah. If 5 stars.
Go below 3. If I ever go below 3, you know something happened.
Meanwhile, what did you just give Fantastic Four?
2.5.
There we go. Something happened. Doom
Galactus.
happened.
Doom 2. What the fuck? Biggest fumble I saw.
Why was he in that movie?
Why was he in it? Why was he like this?
What was the quote? What do you say? What do you mean?
I don't know. Yeah, what are you talking about? And then earlier, Reed was like, "How this happen?"
Oh,
fucking, he's flying on the board, and like Galactus is about to eat the planet. He's like, "No, I've never been the giving type, Reed."
He gave no fucks. The world's ending. Fuck you, Reed.
I don't know if you're here by contract or if you're genuinely having fun.
Oh man, that's too funny. That's too funny. No, that's give that 5 stars. That movie is 5 stars.
Yes.
X-Men fucking 97. The series has ended. It's one of the best Marvel shows ever. It just every episode was a banger.
This has given me another like phenomenal Charles Eric dynamic just in the last episode.
Oh, the last episode alone. Holy shit. A psychological internal battle. Not battle, just conversation. A fighting of words between Charles and Magneto, really getting down deep into their past and like their ideals. Like we just talked about.
What's beautiful is like right from the jump, you know, they make like the big deal is like if it comes down to it, I'm gonna have to take over Eric's mind to reverse everything. And it comes down to that pretty early, but in doing so, Charles has locked his mind to Eric's, and Eric might die in this process if he can't escape the turmoil of his own mind, and he will drag Charles down with him if Charles can't rise him up out of it. And
Charles was willing to do that, right? I'm willing to drown with you, Eric. And holy shit, that was a surprising development here.
This might have been one of the best like depictions of just a like full double down, like these are brothers to the end.
Big time. Getting down into like Magneto is a villain, but every second along the way, the writers made sure you could understand his ideology and why Professor X was still loving of him despite it all. And their dynamic was really the heart of the finale. Leading into the finale, we did, I guess there's not too much about episode 9. Episode 9 was beyond fantastic, but it was a lot of action. A lot more of Bastion's ideals coming into play. Again, Bastion made for such a fantastic antagonist alone because he's not truly human. He was a human character molded with the mind of the master mold, rejected by his mother that he didn't know, from Charles Xavier. So he's like didn't belong to the mutant camp, doesn't belong to the human camp, but still fights for humans against mutants, and creates cyborgs. So his ideals of like propping up human society against mutants. Like he's doing the world a favor with the whole Genosha incident, when he's not really human either. It's very ironic.
It's a pre-programmed ideal inside of an infected soul.
Yes, exactly. A soul that could have been for the mutants if it wasn't for his mom's fear of mutants. It's just this show, it loops, but it's so contained within the ethos of X-Men, which is all about fear, belonging, and fighting. You know, it's cheesy, but fighting the good fight. And I loved that, how it remained so sentimental all the way to the very end. Even Cyclops' last words to Bastion, like, "Hey, you can still come with us, Bastion, after it all." And then they giving him that hand, talking to him.
Yeah.
And
and he like he dismissed it like all the way, but even like in that last moment, he was like, "Okay," like he didn't say it, but like he does reach out, like I will.
Then he gets sucked in by a black hole.
Yeah, done in by his own actions, but not that he's redeemed or anything, but in terms of his own personal soul, he's like, I see what you're coming from.
Is he redeemable?
We got the message delivered,
Yeah. So I just think the finale really tied up Bastion's ironic and tragic ideology very well.
Yes.
Alongside fantastic fight sequences. Every single character got their moment, which is very difficult in a show called X-Men, plural, where there's a lot of characters. It's just as simple as that. There's a lot of characters. It's very hard to tie up one very well, but each character, even if it's just a 1 second action sequence, that's fine enough for a lot of people.
Like 20 seconds max, Mr. Sinister gets to come up and Morph gets to glow in his face. Little
perfect, right?
Yeah.
Given the Morph and Sinister dynamic from the 90s show. Mm-hmm. And then, Morph gets his moment. Logan, I guess, didn't get his moment, but he got his moment in episode 9, which was pivotal, just in terms of him coming against Magneto, stabbing him, and then getting adamantium ripped away from him. Still missing.
Comatose a bit?
Him and Storm are the ones that are still missing post the thing. Hello, how long ago was that?
Just now. Now, motherfucker.
I always get asked. Nathan never checks the comments. I don't either.
We started streaming yesterday at this point.
For 2 days. We've been streaming for 24 hours. We're still doing that 24-hour stream, right, Nathan?
I'll do it. Summer, I'll do it.
I'll do it too. We got to commit. What's up, Arjun? But we're talking about X-Men 97, episodes 9 and 10. So if you have not watched that, spoilers for that. What you were saying there in terms of every character getting their moment here. Wolverine. I think Wolverine and Storm are the only ones that are missing. They're the only two that we didn't see go to 1 and 2 timelines. But I did my research before the podcast, and the creator, the fired creator, said going into season 2, but his writing is still what they were using for season 2, but they are getting a new writer for season 3, which has people a bit worried, but we'll see the year. I might agree. My number 1 used to be Shogun, which I think Shogun and X-Men 7 are kind of tied. Fallout so far is very good so far, so that might be number 3. But either way, we'll have to see how Fallout ends. And Invincible was so good too this year. Anyways, a lot of TV. What was I saying? But he said going into season 2, there will be 3 separate storylines. Present day, obviously, with Bishop and engineer guy. I'm blanking.
Yes.
Forge. Forge. But the X-Men are mostly going to be relegated to 2 timelines, the far future and the past. So that means somebody asked him, so would Storm and Wolverine be in one of those 2 timelines? And he says yes. I have to assume Storm and Wolverine are going to be in the future, given that the past already has
a lot.
Magneto, Professor X, Beast, Nightcrawler, and Rogue, 5. While the future has Cyclops, Jean Grey, and then we'll have
Young Nathan is there.
Young Nathan.
But he's must be.
Exactly. And then we'll have Storm and Wolverine to make it 5. 5 on both sides, just make it even for a storytelling perspective and interesting perspective.
Yeah.
Wolverine being there with a Jean Grey and Cyclops is always interesting. Storm being the sisterly character to Jean Grey, perfect.
It's it is perfect groups right now.
Perfect groups.
And Sabanur. That's fun.
And Sabanur was a fired ending. There was a post-credit scene as well on 1997 with Apocalypse going to the ashes of Genosha and saying, "So much death," as he looks over the card of Gambit, who is dead.
But I've also heard in these storylines that he comes back as the Horseman Death. In Apocalypse Horseman.
Which I think I read, or maybe I'm mistaken. I read an X-Force one with Gambit. I don't think I've read the Horseman issue with Gambit. But yeah, so Apocalypse always has to have his Horseman. It did happen in the 90s with like with Archangel and them. So I think Angel was also still missing. So I think we could still get Horsemen at the Apocalypse. Could be Gambit and some other mystery characters that we, as of right now, don't know yet. Right. But that can definitely still happen. But yeah, we're looking at Sabanur in the past and Nathaniel Summers in the future. Somebody also said the old lady could be Rachel Summers as well. Which I didn't know. I don't know a lot of the X-Men lore, so I take what I can listen to on YouTube.
Briefly, real quick, back in the past with Scott and Jean saying goodbye to Cable.
Great scene, emotional as fuck.
I cried. My desk was soaked with tears.
There we go.
Asterisks. No, but like really, I was just like, fuck, man, like he got to see his father's eyes, and now they're yours.
That was so beautiful, seeing that, and then her using her, powers to like have Scott talk to his son. So beautiful.
And then the scene after, the clips going around with just how peak the animation is, like when he takes off the optic lenses to full blast from his eyes, just like a rageful, heartfelt scream, and just the operatic version of the opening theme going.
Oh, you mean the scene that Zack Snyder invented?
Yes.
Okay.
Quick zooms.
Yeah, I'm kidding. That's funny. I was like, this is so Zack Snyder coded. Zack Snyder invented blast clashing.
He invented operatic choir.
What are you talking about?
Zack Snyder's Duel of the Fates.
Go watch Dragon Ball Z from 90s. 80s, yeah, exactly. So yeah, Scott got a huge moment to shine. The whole season, he's dealing with like how to be a father, how to be a leader, how to be a husband to Jean. All these things, and it's just molded so well in this finale where he gets a chance to talk to both Jean and his son. They all come to terms as a family together in terms of their situation. I just loved the whole emotional climax of that whole family. It just on top of episode 9, getting that whole Summers moment where they're in the car chase and they all get their time to shine during the car chase as well as a family. That was really special as well. So I'm just so happy with Scott's whole arc this season. Phenomenal. Jean Grey, Phoenix Force, but she's in more control of it now. Peak. I just loved that.
The humans were just like, yeah, fire the missiles.
Fire the atomics. You guys suck.
Did I mishear in that scene? Did Steve Rogers like you got to do it? Did he say that?
No. Steve was against it. Steve
Okay.
and Tony were against it. Even Black Panther was like, "Don't do this."
Okay, I that's what I hope, because it felt a little like I didn't pick up the dialogue correctly, I guess.
Yeah. I think he was like, we shouldn't do this, but he didn't have a lot of say. But yeah, the president did do this, even though the president is going to get reelected, or he's facing an election going up against somebody else who isn't good. So that's something else. That's something else they have to deal with in the present day. Yes. A new president who might not be as understanding, even less understanding than a president that just fired rockets at.
I think
Asteroid M.
I think I heard the original show was like that was a big like thing of like whether or not they would ever like fire the rockets on Asteroid M. But now here it is. Holy shit. which is now to play Star Heroes in Time.
Yeah.
But
or it could have been someone else could have done it. Could have been Apocalypse himself.
Maybe. I don't know Apocalypse's full capabilities outside of the film I've seen. I have not read as many comics as I'd like.
Yeah, I mean, a character, first mutant, who kind of becomes Apocalypse due to Kang's technology, right? Kang was the one who came to the Egypt first, the Egyptian Kang that people have been talking about for years now. Ramatut. And Noir comes across Ramatut's technology, and that enhances Noir's inherent mutant powers, and then that's how he becomes that futuristic Apocalypse that you see in all the comics.
Cool.
And then
I love the Marvel universe.
Me too. So that's the Apocalypse. If I'm wrong, somebody post that in the comments. I think that's how it goes. But yeah, Evan actually in issue 79. Anyways, yeah, that's how I came through to believe. But then, it's not like Kang and Apocalypse have a lot of scenes together. It's just leftover continuity.
There's also many retellings of adaptations of stories.
Exactly. There's so many different interpretations. Exactly.
Reruns. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I'm excited to see what Apocalypse can do here. Again, this isn't their first time meeting him. That's why Beast was like, "Oh dear." Again, there was a whole arc in the '90s about Noir, about Apocalypse, about the Horsemen. I think there's 5 or 4 episodes. And across multiple seasons, I think he returns. So that's going to be very interesting in the past, see how they deal with that, kind of unknowingly letting this character become Apocalypse. That might be a direction they might go there. And then in the future, after Apocalypse is taken over, this is what happens. The scattered human civilization. So it's before and then after, and then in the middle, where he's what?
Bendu.
I'm the one in the middle. And then evolution, right?
Oh my god.
So that's gonna be very exciting. I'm excited to see more X-Men characters in season 2. They, as of yesterday, they are at the animatic stage. I'm assuming we'll get it next year. I don't think we're waiting until 2026 for it. I think we'll get it fall 2025 is my guess. Summer or fall 2025, which makes a lot of sense. 10 episodes again.
Yeah. Although I'd be remiss to not bring up, there were a plethora of appearances by different heroes. Won't be necessarily naming them all, but amidst them, watching everything going down on TV were
Ultron.
Yes, Ultron. You got me. I don't know if any of these '90s shows have ever done Ultron in that.
I don't think so.
But yeah, man, it's Peter Parker and Flash Thompson. He actually is there. But Mary Jane Watson.
I'm coming, Mary Jane. Coming. Yeah, I guess he found her. Spoiler alert. Not spoiler alert.
Now, granted, I don't know when X-Men 97 is necessarily taking place in the time of the Spider-Man series. I don't know how often they double down on it is the year of.
True.
So this could be before her displacement. This could be after, and if we do get a chance to tell a story, we can find that journey along the way. I don't know, but all I know is I'm gonna need that green light because
I need to be a fly in the wall at Marvel Animation HQ, wherever they are in LA, because this show needs to be greenlit yesterday.
And
come on.
And I feel because they were so adamant of because they're showing big names, right? They're just going they had Spider-Man a couple episodes ago, full costume, and they could have done that again where he's doing stuff, right? Because you have Daredevil, he's on the street, he's running around.
Cloak and Dagger? What the fuck?
So holy shit! All right, cool.
By the way, Cloak and Dagger, underrated TV show that was on Hulu. I miss it. Yeah, got canceled.
I do need to check that out. And other big X-Men as well, and a couple of here, Iron Man, Cap, or in the fucking Pentagon. T'Chaka, Black Panther is around. So yeah, we're fine. Most heroes in their mantle doing shit, but they were purposely no, Peter's not fighting crime. He's not helping out with stuff right now. He's on the streets with his people, specifically Mary Jane. And I think that was purposeful to show because they're like, yes, we are going to tell this story. Here's a crumb right here to tide you off before we can show you anything.
I hope so. And I actually did this last time on another podcast. I forget what we were doing, but I'm like, I hope they make it so it's accessible for audiences who are kind of unaware that MJ was even missing. Mm-hmm. So I hope. So when they do the inevitable Spider-Man 98, I hopefully it's something that is appetizing for audiences, but also like a fresh reboot, so you don't have to go watch 4 seasons of a 90s show.
I think they absolutely will, because I mean I'm also like, I'm a kid who like grew up, like I had a VHS tape of a couple of episodes on one, and you know it was probably like well into like season 3 of the show at least. Yeah. And you know it was telling like, you know, contained arcs, but like, you know, there's still like existing history. It was like, yeah, I fought Brock or something, and like, oh, Mary Jane, like things aren't going this great, but you know, be on the up. See you, Felicia type deal, you know, all this type deal. But yeah, I think it's good. I do wonder when they would do that though, because I don't think they want to overshadow Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that they're on the come up with.
Yeah, that's true. They put themselves in a rock and a hard place. I think underestimating the huge success that the show is going to be, but also, yeah, we're having a Friendly Neighborhood, which is also an Elseworld Spider-Man adventure.
I'm still very excited for.
It looks decently good. I can't wait to see what it actually looks like in animation. But the concept art and the art so far seems interesting, and it seems like Peter Parker back to high school, which is fun. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see there. But yeah, we're getting 3 to 4 seasons of X-Men 97. Again, season 3 is being written. Season 4, I think, is guaranteed as well. And then, so the next 4 years or so, X-Men 97 is going to be on our TV, which is always great. Spider-Man 98, it's only a matter of time before that gets announced. But you did make a good point there. Like, are they going to announce it with Friendly Neighborhood coming out just now? It's like, I don't know. I doubt it now.
I mean, it would be fun to just like, hey, if you want to get more Spider-Man, just like in between years of animating seasons, you'd be like, all right, you had fun with Friendly Neighborhood, come check out 98, because it's like none of it's mandatory viewing. It's all very like circumstantial, and like most of the appeal of selling 97 was like, hey, y'all love that show, you know, remember? Let's go check it out again. So I imagine like people who are, you know, old or new can also come back. Same thing with Spider-Man here, which also had a really great intro as well.
I love it. Spider-Man.
Break out the electric guitar. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm never skipping it. I never skip that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
So that's cool.
Good omen.
So yeah, so this show has just been a huge triumph for Marvel. Not even just animation, just Marvel overall.
Yes.
One of the best shows that they've ever done. It was just a fantastic first season. Really got to the heart of the X-Men dilemma. The dilemma, the struggle with human society was just felt in every single episode. Each character had a great personal journey. I actually really liked the Jubilee Sunspot dynamic that we got this season. I thought it was very natural for Sunspot to go with Magneto in episode 9, but then quickly return to Jubilee in episode 10. And the same thing for Rogue. I think her arc was so special with Gambit, and then with Magneto as well, going into the finale. Her anger going against Bastion was amazing. I love that fight sequence. Nightcrawler was amazing, supporting character as well. Had a great moments as well. Every single character again got a moment. The whole Storm arc in the beginning of the season was amazing. I'm going over the whole season because it was just every single arc, every single episode was so much fun while being very emotional. It's so hard to nail that. Like how many jokes we put in this, but also make it heartfelt, but also deal with like very real drama. Like that one Sunspot scene where he goes back home with his mom. Like it reminded me of X-Men 2. And like this is why I love X-Men 2. It's just like
they're so good at hooking you with that too. We're just like, oh, she's really accepting. This is wonderful. And he's like, but you gotta find a way to hide it. Fuck.
Yeah, it's like no, like this is like human like nature. It is. It was just so cool. And then again, Bastion. I think voice acting wise, in terms of Bastion, Theo James did a great job as Bastion.
Yeah, holy shit, didn't know it was him.
Yeah, he was great. Again, shout out to his work in Castlevania as well, he does a great job in Castlevania. And then everybody else, all the new returning voice actors for the show, very, very good. I can't wait for everything in season 2. This show is just so special.
Absolutely, man. Can't wait.
Can't wait. So that's a long episode for us. My Cup of Tea is back. Find me on Twitter, Harris EV9. We will not be having XJ9.
It's been a minute.
We will not be having. I really hope Daredevil gets animated series. I hope so as well. That'd be very fun. I would love that. And a Daredevil video game. Come on, please. Doesn't have to be Insomniac. They're busy. But I would love a Daredevil open world video game. But we're no Hyperspace Hype next week. We'll be doing Acolyte, the week of Acolyte. So in 2 weeks from now, Hyperspace Hype will return.
And then
exactly. And then tomorrow we are doing Fury Road. Still ready for that, Nathan? Okay. Fury Road tomorrow. I own it. So do I. I think I'll check. I should, right?
My login real quick.
I'm doubting myself. I think I own Fury Road. Maybe I don't. I'll update you guys tomorrow. Either way, we have Fury Road this week, but then we're also continuing with Fox Marvel later this week with X-Men Origins this Friday, featuring the great Kevin Durant. That's gonna be fun.
Packed week.
Yeah, packed week. 3 episodes. We're still got double up next week, buddy.
I get my weekly recap analytics, and it's here's what you got up to. 3 live streams. What?
Oh, you get analytics from StreamYard?
From YouTube.
Oh, from YouTube. Cool. So that's gonna be cool. And besides that, again, find me at Harris EV9. This is my last week of the school year as a teacher, 6th grade teacher. So I'm super excited for it to be over and then enjoy the summer where I have free reign to read, play games, and do more nearly 3-hour podcasts with Nathan.
Yeah. Follow me at _TimeBlazer. Making a show called Time Blazers with co-starring creative consultant Evan Harris.
Playing Ben, the best character in Time Blazer, the bastion of Time Blazer.
Oh.
No.
Yucky. Let's try not to do that. Having a good time doing that. I've started a process of capturing the creative process of this whole series, so that a little later down I'd be have my own little making of, if you will. Now, to that to be said, I'm not actively editing that together now. It's just to have later.
Are you paying somebody to be a documentarian for you?
I mean, if I could, I would. First off, if I'm paying anybody, it's animators first and foremost, because this has to. Jesus Christ, where is it? I get it. I recognize it's coming. I'm pissed though because I'm I made the music for the trailer 5 months ago.
It's been 5 months since you made the music for that.
Yeah, man. So that's just an idea of just the process here. But it's not gonna be that. But it's gonna be fun. So that being said, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you like button, subscribe, and already ring the bell so you miss all future My Cup of Teas and movie coverage and all that. That being said, I hope you have a great day. Catch you guys next time.